Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
All right, fair enough. With nothing but love in our hearts, we welcome you to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. You know, usually it would be just another miserable Monday around here, but today is a little bit different. Today holds many different meanings for this here radio program. It's day one of our summertime Ultimate F-Off week. All right, that's one significant. It is day one of Booze Cruise week.
Woo!
And it's the return of Smashly.
I'm so glad to be back.
It's nice to have you back.
I've missed you guys so much.
Personally, I'm going to request you never leave again. We missed you, by the way, of course. Things got away from me last week. Since you left, I'm going to end up sitting in what's been called the cuck throne on our boat for the first several however long. And that never would have happened had you been here.
Wait, what?
You don't think she would have allowed the cuck throne and the cuck king idea to?
It wouldn't have went that far.
Is this why you have a crown, Josh?
Yeah, just so you know, I walked into, I think this is from Killer Jesus. I hope I'm giving the correct person credit. I have a cuck scepter. I have a cuck crown. And I don't know what this is, like a cape?
That's a cape.
Oh, yeah, that's a cape.
No question, that is a cape.
This, it's so thin, though.
What do you mean?
Well, you are a cook. Are you expecting something heavy duty? Come on, man.
Okay, Ashley, this is what happened. I laughed very hard at a cuck joke.
And he just did it again.
And I did it again.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess I deserve this.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I would have protected you from that, Josh.
I know you would have.
I didn't see those items sitting there. That is such a wonderful gesture on the part of Killer Jesus. Now we're all set. We have everything we need for Friday's Cuck Cruise. What do you mean? You're really in the dark on this, Ashley?
Yeah.
You didn't hear any of these conversations?
No, I didn't.
They didn't talk about this at the hospital?
No. My nurse, Julie, by the way, shout out to her. She's awesome. She did not mention this.
Why would she have mentioned it?
Because she's who I was with for 4 days. So she was the one that was actually like going out in the real world. And she said she was going to listen to the radio a little bit. And
she's a regular listener of
yes, she was super excited.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that's just terrific, Josh, for everyone but you, of course. But really, I mean, I think you're really going to enjoy being the cuck on our boat party. I think you're really going to enjoy the amount of people that stop by and allow you to watch whatever it is they have planned.
Well, my only regret is just the idea of sitting there and not being able to really interact. I mean, folks have to come over there versus me just being able to go mingle.
It's only going to be 60 minutes. Like we said last week, we're only delegating, if that's the proper word, 60 minutes of cuckold activities for you. After that, you're free to do what you want.
I was mentioning this cape is thin, and by that I mean like width-wise. So that's why I wasn't sure if this was a cape or a wrap or what I'm supposed to do with it.
You're all set.
Runs in the dark, Jesus said, the cape is thin like your ball bag, friggin' cuck.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
You have a very thin, almost transparent scrot bag.
Yeah. I've
something we learned many years ago on this show.
I've likened it to the type of wrap you'd find in a spring roll. Now,
Right.
Not a fried one, just that very thin spring roll.
Would you mind putting on the cape and the crown for us real quick?
Yeah,
little
not a
sneak
problem.
preview for Friday's boat party.
I'm hoping I fit into this thing. I've got a pretty big head, although it's kind of shaped like mine.
It'll be.
Gotta take off.
You got your headphones on there. The crown looks beautiful.
Oh,
perfect.
that is pretty.
Absolutely perfect.
Just majestic.
The staff, is that what it is? The scepter? Scepter is beautiful. And the cape, The Cuck King has arrived, everybody. There he is.
You look awesome.
Gonna look great. Gonna look great. Great bit. Great bit. Can't wait to see it all play itself out on Friday.
Never leave again, Ashley.
Yeah, I promise.
So Ashley was out, and when the show's over, we'll catch you up on all of this cuck talk.
All right.
I am a little surprised. You really had no idea. You were gone for a full week. You spent some time laid out in the damn hospital.
Way too long.
How are you feeling, for cripe's sake?
Feeling good. You know, a little iffy here and there with food, but for the most part, I'm all right. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Do you care to share at all the details? We don't have to get into the details as to what the hell you were doing in the hospital for a week. That's up to you, but we just want to make sure you're feeling all right.
Oh, yeah. Originally, they thought that I for sure had gallstones. They're like 100%. This is exactly what you have. You have the perfect symptoms for it. And then they did something that was, for the first time, I never did one before, an MRI. Those are cheap, right? Those are really cheap.
You can get a Groupon for them, actually.
Actually, they're giving them away.
Yeah.
They really are. MRIs, they're giving them away.
How was that for you?
Terrifying.
So you're claustrophobic a bit?
A little bit.
And they're crazy loud, right?
Well, they let me listen to music, so that was cool.
I did as
remember
well.
listening to some. I thought you got some Megadeth or something when you were in there, didn't you, Josh?
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily, which is rare, in a Megadeth mood. I wanted something a little lighter at that time.
Because you were a little nervous.
No, I wasn't too nervous. I don't know, for whatever reason, I was just kind of in like a cheesy 80s rock mood. But there were all these like kind of cool dudes around, and I was embarrassed. So then I listened to Megadeth.
You didn't want to say put on
Journey.
Put on some of the hits from Chicago.
Yeah.
After
no Air
Peter,
Supply.
You didn't want to say Air Supply in front of the boys.
No.
So you said.
So I went for one of the coolest bands I could think of.
Oh, that's smart. I didn't even think of that. I just picked country music, but
yeah. Also, I didn't notice the noise when I had an MRI because they gave me some headphones. So an MRI showed them what?
So I didn't end up having gallstones, and I guess there's a really bad GI virus going around town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I must have caught that, and I mean it probably would have been a lot easier to get through, but with being pregnant, that changes things 100%. I mean, I started having contractions.
Oh, wow.
They're Braxton Hicks contractions, so they're basically like
I've had those.
lying contractions. So you're not actually going into labor.
They're phony.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was terrifying because I thought, oh no, this is happening. I'm not prepared for this.
Wow.
I got 2 more months left. I need those 2 more months.
Yeah.
And you were born 2 months early, right?
Yep, I was born at 27 weeks.
That character needs to cook a little longer.
Yep.
So
Don't tell him about the cuck thing. I don't want that to be the first thing he hears when he gets out.
I won't tell him.
He's already hearing about it, isn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
In
He
theory,
doesn't speak English yet.
he doesn't understand the language yet?
No, not yet.
Because in theory, some folks say your baby can hear everything.
He can hear, oh yeah.
So they kept a close eye on you. They got you all straightened out.
I will say, though, the women out there who are mothers, I'm mad that nobody warned me. I had my cervix checked for the first time. That's awful.
What, did they use the speculum?
Dude, no.
No?
No, they don't. You're just praying that they have long fingers.
Oh, no.
It was the most painful thing I've ever had done to me.
No, wait. Why do you want long fingers?
Because they use their fingers to check.
Right.
This is medical, so I think I'm safe here.
Yeah, you're fine.
And so they have to press the rest of their hand like against your pelvic bone.
I see.
And I had it done twice. The first girl, it really hurt, and the second one, I was like, oh, that wasn't as bad as the first one. And she goes, yeah, I've got long fingers.
Yeah, next time around, you got to request someone from the WNBA.
I was like, dude, and you're going to be doing this to me more?
So you never had that procedure done over there at the gynecologist?
Nope, not yet.
Oh my God.
There's got to be a better way to check that. There's got to be.
I'm sorry to hear that you had to go through that.
Sounds like they gave you some popsicles, though, from what I heard from your fiance.
Yeah, yeah.
Those must have been nice.
Yeah, they gave popsicles. Those didn't stay down for a while.
Yeah,
but-
You couldn't keep even popsicles down.
Oh, I couldn't even keep water down. That's how I knew it was bad. They gave me have you guys ever gotten a potassium IV?
Yes.
Those are painful.
It hurts a lot.
I had about 5 bags of potassium.
So I know the list is long, so just break it down for us. Tell us your favorite things about being in the hospital. So number one on the list is easily the, don't tell me, you said it a minute ago, all right, I forgot the body part.
The cervix.
The cervix exam, number one.
You love the crushed ice. Did you
I
get
do
a lot
like
of crushed
the
ice?
Yep, I had a lot of crushed ice.
What, the Swedish kids on ice skates falling down a hill?
No, they have like
That's crashed ice.
Oh, that's
best-
crashed ice.
They have the best little like ice nuggets at the hospital.
Yeah, they do.
They're so good.
Hospital has the best ice by
It's
far.
so good.
Okay, what else did you like about it? The people were nice,
The
you said?
people were really nice.
Julie, you said something about Julie?
Yeah, I had a wonderful nurse, and she was on all 4 days that I was there, and yeah, she was incredible.
You couldn't really enjoy the food because they weren't allowing you to eat much, right?
No.
You couldn't keep much down.
I guess the TV is pretty cool.
Television channels.
They have
was
all
that
the
a-
streaming, everything you want.
No, but they have the Ion channel, and that's all I need. That's like all the crime shows, like Law and Order and
gotcha.
stuff like that.
Kind of like a true TV type of deal.
Yeah.
4 or 5 days you were there, right?
Yep.
Did you meet any of your neighbors?
No, but okay.
Did you have your own room?
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
had like my own bathroom and everything.
Awesome
But
to have your own room.
I'm still confused about what this guy was up to. There was somebody that was next to me in the other room, and every time I would like peek out my door, or sometimes I would walk around the hospital floor I was on to try to I don't know,
Sure.
pass the nausea, and he was always standing in his doorway, just
was-
like watching everybody.
One guy on your level that just stood in his doorway and watched the world go by?
He was never not there.
Did he wink at you?
No, I wouldn't look at him. I was afraid to.
Ah.
I have neighbors or I shouldn't say where I'm at now, but I've had neighbors before where, the dudes would just kind of stand at their garage door constantly. Maybe he's one of those guys and was just, bringing a little bit of home to the hospital.
I think he was just people watching. It was just so straight. I mean,
People watching is fun.
I thought, all right. Oh, actually, another bad thing is it was like 80 degrees in the room I was in.
Oh,
Very-
gross.
very
And you
warm.
hate heat.
I had two portable fans just blast into my face the whole time.
Oh, and when you're already nauseous, that heat
Yep.
doesn't make it any better.
Oh, it's so bad. Like how sticky it is in here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything's wet in here again. This is a weird place.
It's a hell of a deal to be laid up for an extended period of time like that. I mean, there's probably a few people right now listening 4 or 5 days. They're saying, hell, that's a cakewalk. But, it makes you appreciate all the comforts of home.
That is true. It was heartbreaking, every day when they would come in and I'm like, so, or my fiance would usually ask, what's the plan? How are we going to get her out of here? And they're like, we want her to stay another night.
Oh.
No.
That sucks.
Yeah, when we were texting back and forth, you kind of thought, it seemed like a few times you thought, well, I'm out today, and then you'd have to text later. I guess not.
Yep.
They're keeping me.
Yep, because I'd feel better, and then out of nowhere, I'd get like a sudden hot flash, and then it would just be vomiting all over again. Oh, it's awful.
When I was in the hospital for 6-7 days as a 14-year-old kid, when I had a spontaneous pneumothorax, which is a collapsed lung, when I was asking you about your neighbors, I had my own room, and I couldn't get out of bed because I was hooked up to this lung correcting machine. But I could easily hear someone who was across the hall from me. And it was constant. This lady, although I never saw her, but I heard an old lady. This person sounded like an old lady. Around the clock, just, I mean, and it frightened me as a 14.
That's me.
This
Cervix exam, Ashley, is that your prediction?
That's me, man.
This lady sounded to be in misery, in incredible pain. And for the first 3 days, I was just afraid to ask anybody what in the hell is going on with this lady. But then I finally I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to know. And I was expecting the nurses and the doctors to maybe tell me, well, we don't want to talk about it, or that's not your business, or
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But I said, finally, after 3 days, I said, this individual across, or however I put it as a 14-year-old, this individual across the hall, what's going on over there? And the nurse said, I don't know. It's 24 hours a day. There's nothing wrong with her. She's fine.
She's very vocal.
I love that.
Maybe she's part cat.
The gal was even annoyed that they were so annoyed by this lady that they even got pissed at me for asking.
I'm always afraid that I'm going to be the annoying one because I am vocal when I'm in pain.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, it wouldn't be anything like that, like all day, all night. But when I get stomach cramps, I'm very much, I get very vocal.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep. But
Are you a bad patient?
no, I think I'm a good patient because I try to be really nice and I guess I try my hardest to be a good patient for the nurses and the doctors because I don't want to be that annoying one. And I know I'm needy. And so I try to balance it out.
You're hitting that button like crazy, like Nick hits his bell?
Dude, it got to the point on day 4 where I felt so bad for hitting that button. Like, I stopped hitting it, and I would just, peek out. And if I caught the eye of my nurse, I'd be like, hey, real quick.
I wonder if the button bothers them or they're just, night nurse Jesus is listening in. Let us know, is the button annoying? Like in the movies where they go to the front desk of a hotel and they hit the bell.
Oh,
and a lot of times they seem annoyed that you hit the bell.
Yeah.
Probably depends, on a lot of things. There are some people who probably hit the button an unnecessary amount of times. And
I'd worry about that too, Ashley.
well, you know what I've learned here lately? I've learned a lot about the old folks' homes, My mother, we tossed her into an assisted living situation recently. And she's ready to break out, by the way. I can tell you that some other time. She's ready to break out. A gal friend of mine was telling me about her mother's situation in an old folks' home assisted living type of a deal. I mean, those places are spendy, as a lot of yous know. Lots of money to keep your loved one in one of these joints. And in some of them, Josh, I learned every time you hit the button, that's another charge.
Oh, really?
What?
Seriously? It's like ordering room service?
Yes. In some situations, it's a healthy amount of money. Every time your grandma hits the button for a little help, it's a few more bucks.
Well, you know how, with a kid, sometimes you'll give them a controller for a Nintendo with no battery in it or whatever? Mm-hmm. Maybe you need to do that for your mom. Just take the power away from the button just to save you a couple of bucks.
Well, this gal friend of mine had to explain to her mother. So this gal friend of mine gets the bill from the old folks' home. And there's an extra, who knows, I'll just say a number because there's an extra $500 on the bill because of her mom blasting away at that button all day long. So she calls her mom and says, hey, look, what's been bothering you? I see that you've, 11 times this month you hit the button or whatever. And her mom said, well, the first time I was feeling like a Diet Coke. So I hit, and she had to say, Mom, you can't be fingering the button for a Diet Coke. It cost me $75.
Go to the fridge.
Yeah, you don't have to hit the panic button for a Diet Coke. Just next time the nurse walks in, say, can I have a Diet Coke? Then it costs us no money.
Mm-hmm.
She's thinking it's like room service.
Yeah.
I have a family
The butler.
member who's getting up to that age, and I'm a little worried that if that's the case, we got to pay per button. It's good. I know they're going to hit the button just to complain about whatever it is. Doesn't have to be involved anything there, just about the world.
Saw a news story they didn't like.
Yeah, that is 100% going to happen. They want somebody to complain.
Well, like you said, take the batteries out or give them a phantom button.
Yeah.
And then your mom calls you 2 days later and says, boy, this place sucks. No one shows up when I press the button.
Like they do with kids. You give them a fake phone or a fake remote.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
All right, I asked night shift nurse Jesus to text back in and let us know if it's annoying, right? Hitting the button or being kind of a needy patient. And he said, not at all. That's our job. People are in the hospital generally in the worst time of their life, so we understand people need kindness and care. Well, if I'm
that
ever
makes
in
me
trouble,
feel
I
good.
want him to be taking a look at me.
That's not the attitude I would have in that job.
Yeah, seriously. He texted before that, too, and said that they should have put some lidocaine in my potassium IV so it wouldn't be painful. Lidocaine is like numbs numbs you up.
Okay.
Yeah. Where do you work? I'm gonna come to you next
Yeah,
time.
I got a potassium drip one evening, and that stuff stings going in,
yeah.
baby. Come on now.
Heck yeah. You guys, you have no idea how many times I've been poked and prodded.
How long did they drip that potassium into your body?
Oh, that was an all day.
I want to see if I can. Oh, it was all day?
Yep.
I had like 5-6 hours worth of that stuff, and every time the potassium guy would walk in, right?
Yep.
And I was just praying he'd say, well, you're full up. But he'd look and he'd go, oh, no, we got to
do another one.
Another hour or two. I'm like, Jesus balls, it feels like they're just pouring vodka. Vodka, that's not the word. It feels like they're pouring lava into your friggin' arm.
I know.
I hated that.
I had the same type of thing. I was dehydrated, and I had no idea how bad dehydration could get. I thought I was dying. I was dehydrated, and I had 5, just like you. I had 5 of the potassium drips, and the ER guy was like so frustrated that I was going through so much, and I couldn't provide a urine sample. He threatened me with a catheter as if I was going out on him. I mean, he was a total jerk about it.
Did it make a guy want to pee?
Well, I'm like, I'm doing my best. I'm not holding it. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, it was. I think it was 5 bags. And he came in and just yelled at me.
Yeah, it was like 5-6 hours I was laying there. So they thought it was gallstones, you say? Okay. Ashley's back after a week in the hospital. We're all happy she's feeling. They thought it was What was it, Josh? What kind of stones were they when that kid here fell down in the studio?
Kidney stones.
Kidney stones.
Yeah.
Greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, since you're thanking nice people, this has been bothering me since yesterday. I want to thank some nice folks I met at Sam's Club. We're kind of walking out to check out, and I started talking to these people. They said hello, and I wanted to talk more, but the cranky lady at the front door was like yelling at us, you gotta go, you gotta go. So my wife and I went outside to kind of wait to say thank you and whatever, but I think they're ghosts because they disappeared. I have no idea what happened to them. We wanted to say something else, so if he said he listens every day, and I didn't even get a chance to get a name, he and his lovely wife, so if for some reason you're listening, I apologize. I tried to catch you, but you disappeared into the ether somewhere. My wife thinks maybe they went to the liquor store or something and I just missed them, but...
You had a nice experience at Sam's Club. You wanted to say one more thing to this couple or whatever, and then they gone.
Yeah, I don't want them to think like I ran out of there or something. I tried to catch them, but that lady was she was having a bad day. Maybe the heat. The heat might have got to her standing in that door there.
You know, hopefully most of you survived the obscene temperatures over the weekend. I know there were lots and lots of events going on, too, so.
That was messed up. I'm ready for winter.
It was pretty intense.
I'm with you, Ashley.
It was,
wasn't it just Friday that it became summer officially? You're already ready.
Yeah, we're just getting started. But I imagine you're carrying around a couple extra layers.
Oh, yeah.
Hosting another life inside your body isn't the easiest thing in the world, huh?
No, nope.
It is not.
Not at all.
And the heat doesn't help.
Somebody asked me the other day, and I think I was just in a mood to be completely honest. They're like, "Oh, how's it going? Are you thinking of having more kids after this one?" And I think I was kind of rude about it. I was no.
Yeah.
No. I said honestly, this has been awful. A lot of women are. I shouldn't say a lot, but some women have a great time when they're pregnant. They have
great time.
easy pregnancies. A lot of women love being pregnant.
My wife's one of those.
I hate it. I hate it.
I don't blame you at all.
And maybe I would like it if I had, an easier pregnancy. But so far, the first 2 months, I nonstop throwing up, and now
you've had a rough go.
Yeah, I'm ready to be done hosting this child in my body.
I'm very sympathetic, and next time someone asks you that question, just close your eyes and start swinging. Maybe you make contact, maybe you don't.
When I told my wife you were pregnant, one of the first things she said was, "Oh no, she hates the heat, and she's going to be really pregnant in the summer."
Dude. It's not going well.
It's going to be rough for her.
My AC is at 66, and it's not good enough.
You're freezing your fiance out.
Yeah, he's not having it good. He's so cold. He's in huge sweatpants and sweatshirts all
God,
day.
what a little bitch.
Jesus. I was thinking no matter how bad you were feeling in the hospital, the worst thing for you probably was not being around your dogs every day.
Oh, one of my dogs stopped eating.
Oh, I bet.
She just wouldn't eat with me there. I was so sad.
My God.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be balling most of the time because you don't get to see your dogs every day.
It was really hard.
Friday, we pile aboard that big old cuck boat, and now we've got the outfit. If you missed it earlier, Captain Cuck over here, Josh, has his, what do you call it, the thing you had in your head?
I got a crown.
Captain Cuck, or the king of the cuckold, Josh, has a crown now. He has a scepter. He has a, what's the final word?
Cape.
Cape. He will have his outfit ready to go by Friday. Keep listening this week for your shot to win your way aboard. That's the only way to get into the mix.
And we have a lot of 4-packs to give away this week, by the way.
Let's start dumping them out.
We've got 4 to give away today. 4 4-packs. And then the rest of the week, a total of 8 4-packs, 4 on the show and 4 via the podcast.
Jiminy Christmas. Well, then we might as well get started. Step right up and see the incredible Cuck King on this year's Booze Cruise. Let's just dump one right here, right now. How do I say this? Right now in the Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text the keyword RUM, R-U-M, to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win that 4-pack of tickets to our Independence Day Booze Cruise this Friday. Stillwater River Boats, we jump aboard the Avalon. Thank you to Warner's Dock, Red Wing Shoes for joining us on this gimmick. And as I said, keep listening. That's your only way to win. The keyword this time around is RUM, 651-989-9393. 4 today, and then 8 every day afterwards. 4 for the broadcast, 4 for the podcast.
That's right.
I'll be dipped. And then after Friday, we're out of here for a smooth week to celebrate Independence Day. So, F everybody else.
I guess that's one way you could look at it.
Yeah. Like I said, today holds a lot of different meanings. F-off week, Booze Cruise week, the return of the smash.
Glad you're back, Ashley.
Me too. I don't like having my routine messed up either.
I'm that way too.
We are all very much routine people.
Almost concerningly so.
Yeah, we can relate to that. So we might as well let her buck.
By the way, just for those texting in, the keyword is rum. The word does not start with a C. We're getting a lot of those.
Oh.
Rum, R-U-M.
You son of a
There's a lot of the
bitch.
other one coming in,
That's
so
just,
to speak.
It's just terrible. Here we go. We'll be dipping into the stupid news after we take a little break. Ski, thank you for joining us this morning on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
Inside the opening 45 seconds. What a goal! Jack McGlynn with that cannon of a left foot.
Never miss a game.
What a start for the United States.
Shot from distance. What a goal!
Never miss a moment.
Exquisite from the San Diegan. Can he finish? Yes, he can! Yeah!
The U.S. Soccer Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Tubby, before we all fall down and touch ourselves over the stupid news report, maybe a little shout out here from Meat Inspector Jesus. He wants to give a shout-out and a word of thanks to all the power company employees working to restore power in the Bemidji-Beltrami County area. They had a hell of a storm go cutting through there Friday night. 10,000 folks without power. Total nightmare. Yeah, one of my oldest bros has a cabin up there. Some bitch had to leave 5 a.m. Saturday morning to run up to Bemidji and cut up trees all day long on his cabin property. It was a disaster. And, if you're going to cut up trees all day, it might as well be 70% humidity, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that area, they got it so bad. And I know how hard those linemen work, so definitely shout out for them.
A couple of them landed on his cabin. His dock got sucked out into the lake. His boat was flipped upside down. He can't find his boat. Where's my boat?
I had a boat here. Where'd it go?
I wonder how long it's going to be. I saw some articles yesterday saying this could go on for a while, trying to get all this repaired. There was so much damage.
It's a nightmare up there. I saw some news footage. So, yeah, those of you who have properties up there, those of you who live up there, sucks. And we wish you the damn best. We do. All right. Stupid news goes like this now. Next time you step out of doors, keep an eye out. I'm telling you right now, keep an eye out, for cripe's sake, because they've been cut loose. They have been released. Ashley, ask me what has been released.
What has been released?
The bees!
We get wasps, a ton of wasps, not so much bees. I'm clearing out wasp nests, I'd say, a few times a year. They love hanging out at our house.
I haven't had one in a while. Usually every summer they like to make a nest in the shed, but I think maybe we scared them away finally.
We get them on the house, and have you heard of grass wasps? I think they're called.
Oh, yes.
We get those, and it's a weird thing. We have crank-out windows, and there was one time I opened up the window, and all this, it looked like hay fell out. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What's my son doing? I thought him and his moron friends were just kind of putting him around the frame of this window. And then I looked, and there's a bunch of them. And I Googled it, and it was grass wasps because I found some dead ones in there. Weirdest thing ever. I've never had that before. So I don't know if it's a crank-out window thing or just our neighborhood or what.
I don't know if it helps with the grass wasps, but I have heard that if you get like a brown paper bag, like a Cub bag or grocery bag, and you kind of form it to look like a nest, that they'll stay away because they think it's another bee's territory.
Really?
There's something very satisfying about raiding a wasp nest. By raiding, I mean me physically going in and knocking it down, but standing 10 feet away with the spray can and just dousing the thing. I enjoy that.
I was just going to move. I figured this is their house now.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's what I can do. I'm out.
We get all types in my neighborhood. The real angry bastards, the ones that come up from the ground, the ones that hang from your shed, all that. I hate those sumbitches. A few years ago, I was clearing out some brush and whatnot because I was having a fence put in on my property. And, I'm such a stupid bastard. And it had been so long since I'd been stung by bees, wasps, hornets, whatever the hell they were. I don't know. I can't tell one from the other. But I'm raking, and ow, what the hell? I must have pulled something in my, ow, what's that in my lower back? The sumbitches came up from the ground. They were killing me. I didn't even know it.
Surprise attack.
I thought I was having, pinch. It's so stupid.
I've never seen that. Box Tossing Jesus had something similar. He stepped on a ground hornet's nest.
Yeah.
He got attacked.
They came up from the ground and got me, Cubby. And then I doused him with some kind of killer powder. I watched him choke to death. It was awesome.
That would be so satisfying.
I went to Lowe's and got some killer nuclear ground bee powder, and I killed every one of them.
Shotgun Messiah Jesus says, I have squatter hornets. Yeah, I think that's what I have. I can't kick them out legally. I can't kick them out.
The bees have been released. And every swinging D should be aware of it. Now, the good news is the bees were released all the way over in Spain. So we proud, barrel-chested, fat-bellied Midwestern Americans, we've got some time to prepare. But this was one hell of a deal right here. It was. over there in Spain, a 70-year-old beekeeper was so pissed off about being pulled over by the local cops that he set his equally angry bees loose on the police. Get them!
No.
And the attack was so vicious that the cops had to run for their lives and take shelter in a nearby restaurant. And now, they're everyone else's problem, these bees, and they're headed in this direction. This short-tempered old beekeeper, bastard that he is, was driving around with no seatbelt, and he was all over the road. He's swerving around the road. That's why the cops drove up on his ass and dumped the cherries on him and pulled him over. All over the road, no seatbelt. In his friggin' van. And when the cops walked up to talk to him, beekeeper Dick, he popped off right away. He said to the police, "I should have run you over," he said.
That's a good start.
Yeah. And when he came off, at the mouth like that, the cops said, "Well, what, are you drunk or something?" And they asked the prick to take a breathalyzer, and that's when the beekeeper totally busted a spring, and he threatened to kill the cops. "Now I'm going to kill you," he said. Before the cops knew what the hell was going on, dude went to the back of his stupid van and unleashed the bees. "Get them, you bastards! I am your commander. Follow my orders. Get them."
I always thought beekeepers were kind of like whimsical, nice people. Like they love the planet.
Not this peckerhead in Spain.
He's an angry one.
I know one beekeeper, or a former beekeeper, and actually he is one of the nicest, friendliest, funniest gentlemen. That's what he is. He's a gentleman.
Does he bring you honey?
Well, this was back when he was a kid.
Oh, all right.
He no longer keeps bees. This was one of the most fascinating conversations I've ever had in a fish house. Normally when we're fishing, it's just all dirty jokes and sexual conquest stories and sports talk. And then suddenly, this guy I'd been ice fishing with for 5, winters in a row. He says, when I was a kid, I was a beekeeper. And I said, okay, pump the brakes on this. This is what? I'd never met anybody who did that and he told me all about it. I thought it was fascinating.
That's so cool.
It is cool. Just watching them with that tin can or whatever they got, smoking them out. It's kind of crazy watching that. There was just a show I was watching yesterday. They had that. It's fascinating.
The bees, under the command of their evil master beekeeper, like I was saying, started teeing off on the cops. And then beekeeper Dick hopped back into his van and he punched it. Gone. Like I told you, a few of the cops had to dive into a restaurant because the cloud of bees was too much to handle. 2 cops ended up in the damned, emergency room. They had to take something called cortisol, and maybe they were allergic. I know nothing about that kind of a thing.
I think the average person can only be stung a certain amount of times. I don't think you have to be allergic. I think, something like that. I'm not sure how many times, but...
Let's have a sting off and see who can handle the most stings.
I'll tell you what, Cubby, I handled about 7 of them, like I told you, before I even knew what was happening.
Oh, man.
They eventually found the bee master, and the cops gave him the pummeling of a lifetime.
Yeah, and I thought those beekeepers, they loved their bees. Maybe not necessarily pets, but they really respected them. They wouldn't do that.
This guy used them for good, not evil.
They wouldn't train him to kill.
70-year-old, he was drunk.
Aha! Fun fact. The number of bee stings a person can survive before death varies, but on average, an adult should be able to survive around 1,000 bee stings.
In a day?
Oh, I guess it doesn't say in a day.
In a lifetime?
I think it's all at once.
When we were little kids, my brother and I, oh God, I don't know, 5, so maybe a little older than that, maybe about 8, along with our neighbor, Pistol Pete from across the street, and Pistol Pete's foster brother, the 4 of us, one summer volunteered to go house to house in our neighborhood with broomsticks and knock all the bees' nests down out of the trees, or if you had one hanging from your house, we thought of it as our summer job, and we called ourselves the Bee Gees.
That's awesome.
Cute.
Because they were hot at the time, 1978, something like that. And we only lasted a day. Most people said, sorry, but we don't need your help. We don't have any bee problems. But then one guy down the street said, yeah, there's a wasp nest or something in this tree. And so we all went over to the tree, and we beat the nest down off of the tree, and all of the bees, or whatever they were, stung the piss out of Pistol Pete's foster brother.
Oh, no.
And it scared the hell out of us, and we never went back out again. So our summer job lasted one day, and Pistol Pete's foster brother had to go to the hospital.
You guys ever think about getting the band back together? One last job?
Boy, now that we're in our 50s,
seems like the safe and
that'd be an ugly
reasonable
scene.
thing to do.
Ugly scene. All of us with our shirts off. The neighbors are, oh, God, what is this?
My 4 sons, Jesus, said he once saw a beekeeper severely overreact to an old lady getting scammed. Yeah, they made a documentary about that, and they're about to make a second one as well.
That was so ridiculous, but so awesome.
Yeah, that was a great that was a very entertaining movie. Jason Statham, one of my all-time favorites, but he did severely overreact to that. It's very unfortunate what happened to that lady. Terrible. They should spend their lives in jail, but he overreacted.
He might have some unresolved anger issues, that character.
Yeah.
Never saw it, but I saw the trailer and laughed my balls off.
Oh, everybody did. I can't remember what movie I was at, and they showed that trailer, and everyone's like, oh, Jason Statham. And then once they say the name, The Beekeeper,
Yes.
everyone lost it.
I don't go to a lot of movies, Cubby, as you know, but so it had to have been, you wondered what movie was showing the trailer. It had to have been a Stallone film because that's pretty much all I do. Anyway, vertically challenged Jesus was stung when she was a kid 36 times by wasps. She went into shock. She said, I probably should have gone to the hospital, but parents, you know how your mom and dad could be back years
toughen
ago.
up.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it.
No, she doesn't need to. So she swelled to 3 times her normal size.
Oh, and she's petite.
And we had to put her in an ice bath, and she went into shock. Does she need to go to the hospital? No. That might cost $5.
Oh, you poor thing.
Super hard worker, Jesus said, I just learned dryer sheets can deter wasps. I guess mail carriers put them in mailboxes. Yeah, I mentioned our mail carrier, Craig. What's up, Craig? He put one in our mailbox, and I didn't know. At first, I saw it in there. I'm like, what the heck? There's a dryer sheet in our...
Sweet, free dryer sheet.
Is this a threat? Is it like some sort of swingers thing? I couldn't figure it out.
Mafia code.
And when I ran into him, he mentioned, oh, yeah, I'm putting those in there. And he's like, I don't want to get stung. I don't blame you. I had no idea. That was the first time I'd heard of it, too.
Now, I don't know why this is killing me, but it is. So if anyone knows, text us, 651-989-9393. What friggin' movie had Beekeeper as a preview? How many years ago is this? 4 or 5 years ago? Oh, last year?
Yeah, because I saw it at the movie theater, a trailer at a movie theater too.
Jesus, I could have sworn it was like 5 years ago.
The only movie I can remember you seeing in the theater recently, Nick, was a certain wrestling movie that you were not fond of.
Oh, that was it. That was it. What was that terrible
Iron
movie?
Claw.
Iron Claw, awful movie, don't see it, total garbage. Yes, it was when I was sitting and waiting to see stupid Iron Claw that I saw the preview for Beekeepers. You're right. Is anyone here aware of a wacky kind of a safety gimmick for a motor vehicle called the asleep at the wheel warning?
Yes.
You are aware of it?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, big bearded Jared went on vacation recently, longtime listener, awesome guy, good friend now. They rented a vehicle that had that. And he tested it out by he took a video of it and sent it to me. He put his hands over his eyes. His wife was there so she could say, oh my God, hit the brakes. And the car yelled at him, like, hey, you got to pay attention. He had this vehicle, I think it was like a Ford Expedition or something.
Is that right? Oh my God. All right, it's fascinating. In case you just don't know, what it is now is some fancy schmancy new gimmick in the fancy schmancy new cars. It detects the driver's condition through a camera mounted on the steering wheel. If it detects that they are distracted or tired, it sends out audio and written warnings on the car's dashboard, the display type of a thing that we all have now, that video screen. If the driver does not respond to these warnings, the car begins to decelerate until it stops completely.
That's really smart.
That's effing crazy. So, now that we all know the this and the that, here's what folks are all jaw-jacking about on social medias. A dude says that his small eyes kept triggering the car's asleep at the wheel warning. He drives something called a Xiamo SU7, I don't know. It's an electric motor vehicle. It's electric. Xiamo something, faster than piss. And it says here it's one of the most coveted electric cars in the world right now. But anyways, Mr. Lee is the young fella's name. He likes his ride. But he also says that the vehicle has been a pain in the ass to drive. Soon after taking his new whip out for a drive, there go my whip right there.
The best part about that line is that was said about a golf cart.
Yeah.
Not a radical vehicle.
Josh and I were at a silly golf tournament of some sort. One of our favorite listeners was there. Don't tell me his name. Got the same name as a famous rock star that I drank Heineken with.
Well, Minnesota's
Rob.
fave. Yeah.
Oh, Minnesota's fave, but also Rob Thomas. Rob was standing there, and he says to Cubby and I, "What you guys doing out here?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just hanging out." "What are you doing here?" And Rob says, "I'm just waiting on my golf cart." Someone was bringing him his golf cart. And when his golf cart went by, he goes, "There go my whip right there."
That was one of the coolest things I've ever heard in person.
So cool.
All right, so this dude drives a fancy car with the asleep at the wheel warning. He likes the car a lot, but it's a pain in the ass. One of the first drives he went on, however you say that, he started hearing the "please focus on driving" warning sound, even though he was not distracted. He was watching the road in front of him. The message, "focus on driving, pay attention to safety," kept popping up on the car's digital display. And he kept saying, "For Christ's sake, I am paying attention. Get off my ass," he's saying to his own car. And then it dawned on a player. It was the eyes, always the eyes. That was the problem. Mr. Damn Lee said, "I opened my eyes wide and then I didn't hear the warning sound. But when I went back to having my eyes open like I naturally do, the gimmick chirped again."
So he's just driving around with his eyes.
Yeah.
Toothpicks.
Looking like he just smoked crack rocks.
Like me in a picture, trying to keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
He said, "Apparently my eyes are so small that the car thinks I'm about to fall asleep." One particular day, this car's fatigue warning, how did I say it originally? Asleep at the wheel warning, barked at him about 20 times during a short drive, and he couldn't handle it anymore. Now, after Mr. Lee dumped this video on all the social media dorks, many of the comments came pouring in from other folks who have had similar problems. And the car maker, Xiamo, whatever the hell it is, came out with a statement. They said, "Here's the deal. The fatigue monitoring thing can be turned off." But they didn't recommend that because of safety concerns. So I don't know what the hell.
He's got to, unless there can be a software update that can, account for folks that don't have whatever eye size they think you should have.
Yeah, to have that keep popping up.
Oh, how annoying would that be?
I had a friend recently that had to fly out of town to go handle some family stuff, and they landed. She had to drive 4 hours, so she rented a car. And about an hour down the road, 90 minutes down the road, she went to a gas station. She got back in, and the seatbelt wouldn't latch. Like, she tried over and over because this way, that way. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't latch. So she's like, "All right, well, I'm just going to have to drive safe and go without the seatbelt." But then, of course, the dinging starts, the ding, 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 ding.
Me off.
And it kept getting louder. The longer she would drive without the seatbelt on, it would just keep dinging louder and louder and louder. And at this point, she had to get where she was going, so she just had to tough it out. Just drove about 3 hours with the seatbelt ding going off nonstop.
I thought that gave up after a while. It's like, well, I guess this person doesn't want to put on a seatbelt. That's not the case, huh?
Apparently not. No.
I know mine gives up after a while.
I thought most of them did.
Mine does not.
Hot Cocoa She's said her car reminds her to hold onto the steering wheel when she is, and she says, does that mean I have a weak grip?
I must have all of these warnings shut off because they don't say a word to me when I'm driving. Now, here's a listener, way too much Reddit Jesus. Rented a vehicle for a road trip with the family. So he wasn't excited about it from the get-go. And his vehicle had the awake monitoring nonsense, is how he puts it. It was fine as long as I had my sunglasses on, but the instant they came off, the vehicle started popping off at him when he would take his sunglasses off, and he was going nuts. Man, it just blows my mind that we have these new gimmicks.
My car has a deal where if it thinks you're going to hit something, I don't know about forward, but certainly backwards, it slams on the brakes. And the first time it did that, it scared the hell out of me. And it's just pulling out of my driveway, because it's kind of steep towards the bottom there, so it thinks I'm going to crank the back into the street there.
Yeah.
I mean, people are looking at me like an idiot. Like I just slam on the brakes. One of my neighbors like, what are you doing? Why is that happening? So I turned that off. That was really annoying that thing's on there. I mean, I get why it's there, and watch, there'll be a time where I wish I would have had it.
Yep.
But pulling out of my driveway, that's not so fun.
And we got quite a few people texting in saying their new vehicles bother them about whether or not they're paying attention, and their new vehicles bother them about their hands being on the wheel.
Oh, I would hate the hands on the wheel thing. I'm mostly like a one-handed driver.
I just use my knees.
How does the?
Yeah, I like
I wonder
doing
how
that
the
too.
wheel thing works. Is that a camera as well?
I don't know.
Maybe somebody knows.
Pressure sensor?
I just steer with my knees. Well, this sucks. Flight attendants and pilots and the whole works, more often than not, after they finish up a long plane ride from one place to another, you know how it is. They got to get their carcasses to a hotel and get some effing sleep, and then get up early the next day and do it all over again.
Or sometimes they have like a sorority or a fraternity house, where they just have like an apartment that a bunch of them share.
Really?
Yeah. My daughter's boyfriend is a
Flavor
pilot.
of the month, you call him.
Well, but he's stuck around a lot of months, so hopefully it's going to end soon enough. But he's a pilot, and they kind of have certain places, like if you're based out of somewhere where you don't live, And I used to pet sit when I was a kid for a flight attendant, and it was kind of the same thing for her.
They all pile into some effing house.
It was like an apartment, yet there was you'd share, people with different flights. And
just for pilots and flight attendants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's effing crazy. Word is here, British Airways, whoever they are, they effed up, and they accidentally booked one of their flight crews into some kind of a sideways, hardcore, all-night group F-shack type of a motel in Milan, Italy, instead of a legit, semi-decent hotel in Milan, Italy. And the crew couldn't sleep for dick all night because of the never-ending sounds of people folding each other's brains out and whips cracking and loud orgasms and whatnot. They booked them into the sex motel on accident. Moans, groans, orgies.
It was the Fanta Suites in Burnsville. Was that basically a sex motel?
I don't remember much about it. I remember hearing the joke over and over again. But
I always wanted to go, but it was closed down by the time I was old enough to go.
I don't think I was ever there at the Fanta Suites in Burnsville.
God, a Burnsville sex motel. Some things happen there.
I was only at one motel that I mean, you tell me, should I define it as a sex motel? It had 24-hour free hardcore pornography on every television. Hardcore I mean, nothing for the lighthearted. It was rough.
That was the same case with us down in Mexico for the honeymoon. It's just flipping through channels like, oh, TNT, they got the basketball game on. You hit one more. Oh, wow, she's servicing 6 gentlemen at once. That's interesting.
Me and my
6
at once. Me and a bro stayed in this motel once because we were drinking all weekend in this small town. And we walked in, put our bags down, turned on the television, and we had a few hours to kill before we were going out. So we're just cracking beers, watching these porno movies, and it became very obvious that there was a theme that night. It was anal night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Delightful.
Traveling soccer tournament as a kid, an out-of-town tournament. You know, this is the 90s. Parents just booked some hotel rooms for the team, sight unseen. We get there, and we hadn't even put our bags down yet, and the parents were like, no, we got to go somewhere else. Found out because it's just riddled with hookers.
That's the kind of place you ought to have at least tried once.
Right.
Yeah.
I was kind of mad they didn't let us, kind of just stay for the night.
So again, a British Airways flight crew, they need to get some friggin' sleep. After a long flight, they got to get up the next morning and do it all over again. British Airways screwed up and booked them into the F-Shack motel instead of a legit type of a scene.
The themed rooms are pretty sexy at this place. Like, almost too sexy. And one of them kind of looked like a torture room.
There was all kinds of stuff going on there, wasn't there, Jeff?
Yeah, there was one. There was a very romantic-looking room and then a bunch of cages and another torture devices.
Yeah, the flight crew were forced to try and sleep in hilarious vagina-shaped beds. The carpeting was all stiff and crunchy, and the joint kind of overall smelled like the ocean. They got zero sleep. I imagine some of them might have taken advantage and joined in one of these gangbangs, but the majority of them said they couldn't sleep at all, so they couldn't fly the next day. And that's a problem in the airline industry. To say, yeah, can't make it. They meant to book their employees, British Airways, meant to book their employees into a normal joint. The name of the sex motel was very similar to the normal hotel that they tried to book, so it was an easy mistake to make. Like Josh was saying, the F motel had bondage ropes and such hanging from the walls, mirrored ceilings, human dog cages, cucks. There were shady-looking prostitutes out front the joint, hollering at everybody. They found, quote, mysterious fluids in the beds. New guy was in the corner puking his guts out. It says here that British Airways is urgently investigating this disaster.
Dog cage.
Human dog cage.
That's crazy.
Human dog. The nudists I've told you before were my friend's parents were nudists. You go over to their house.
Yeah, again with this story, just I don't understand. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? You don't want me to tell it, or what?
No. I love the stories. Okay, I'll explain myself. I've explained myself before on this. What these people did was terribly wrong.
Oh, at the time, I was young enough I was old enough to be a little uncomfortable, but too young to fully understand what was going on.
They were nudists in their home at all times, mom and dad. This was a friend of
Dad
yours.
wasn't around a lot because, I'd go there after school and he'd be at work. But yeah, the times, like if on the weekend or something like that, he'd be around nude. Mom was always naked. And it was a daycare, by the way.
When this friend of yours would have company at his house, you other little kids.
Yes.
His mother continued to be nude in front of other people's kids because that was their lifestyle. That is wrong. In my opinion.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring it up is the mirrored thing reminds me, and I never really thought about it until right this second, they had a canopy bed with mirrors on the top.
Oh, dude, they were, wow.
And I thought it was cool as a little kid. And I never really thought about it until right this second, what was going on there.
I'm picturing the dad getting home from work and doing like the opposite of Mr. Rogers, where he kind of changes into a different sweater, just sitting down and getting completely naked. All right, I'm home.
Where's the other sweater, bro?
Yeah.
I can't imagine my kid coming home when he's 10 years old saying, Mrs. Sinjinson? Yeah? Oh, yeah, she just walks around her house naked in front of us.
I'd kill somebody.
Yeah, I would have a real problem with that. I mean, hey, dig it. Go ahead and have that be your lifestyle, but just not in front of the other neighborhood kids.
Probably a bad idea.
Just one small favor. Put away your friggin' lifestyle while the neighborhood kids are in your home. Can you do that?
At least some underwear.
Put on a pair of drawers and a bra. For the love of Pete.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And it's in there! A cold strike three at 100 miles an hour. McGill rings the bell, and the Brewers win. They sweep the Minnesota Twins.
Twins gave up a few runs over the weekend.
Love it.
That was ugly.
Gave up a few runs over the weekend, 35 in 3 games. Let me tell you something. If you stuck around for the entirety of Saturday's game, I mean, yesterday was a close ball game, but with the weather being just obscene, especially if you stuck around for the entirety of Saturday afternoon's Twins game, when they got shut out, 9-0? Mm-hmm. And it was 110 degrees, you should get some kind of Purple Heart. You should get some kind of recognition from the state of Minnesota for being a tough individual and a patient individual, whatever words might apply, because it was insane.
Maybe a nice coupon for a helmet Sunday.
Whatever.
Yum.
Something a little extra. And now the boys got to start it all over again tonight. They start a 4-game series at home against Seattle. The wrong ball club won the NBA title last night. We'll get into that. A big friggin' trade in the NBA that did not involve, what's the local club called again?
Timberwolves.
And, we were talking about, the advancements with our new motor vehicles now. It's got a sensor for this. It's got a sensor for that. It can tell if you're hanging onto the wheel. It can tell if you're paying attention to traffic. There's a camera in some new vehicles that'll watch your beautiful face. And if you appear to get sleepy, it'll let you know. It blows my mind. Couple of texts came in. Here's a over-the-road truck driver. He said he's got a lane departure warning. If he crosses the fog line, an alarm goes off. There's a radar in the bumper so he can see how fast the car he's following is going.
Oh, wow.
And cruise control on the truck automatically adjusts its speed on the car's speed in front of him.
Oh, yeah. My brother had a vehicle that did that.
How the hell do they do this?
That is so sweet.
It's effing beyond anything I ever imagined. One other text came in. You can always get a hold of us, 651-989-9393. One other text came in to say, I don't have to worry about all that fancy technology. I drive a 2007 Saturn Ion.
I'll keep things basic for you.
It's a worry-free experience, Josh, behind the wheel of a 2007 Saturn. What did he say?
That's a sensible vehicle.
We got to take a break. Josh's news is coming up next.
93X
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
We're throwing open the metaphorical closet doors of our lives. We're going to be cleaning out the closet. What no longer fits? Audit some of your relationships. How about auditing your emotions? Maybe it's your career you need to look at. Get your life together for this season.
The Ed Milet Show.
It's time for a little cleaning of the soul. Let's get a little ruthless, a little refreshing, and a little real. God bless you, everyone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The Half-Assed Morning Show, 93X.
The truth is, I barely knew him, and yet he and his accomplice decided that I should die.
A Wisconsin couple's been charged with trying to poison two of the man's former dates he'd met online. One of the victims, who'd only been out a couple of times with 43-year-old Paul Devine, described a terrifying moment in April. She found a stranger crouched by her car inside her garage. That stranger was Van Dyne's new girlfriend, 41-year-old Andrea Whitaker. Van Dyne, a Princeton grad and mechanical engineer, had recently divorced and had been meeting women through dating apps. One of those women said she met him more than a year ago. They went on 2 dates, and she told him she wasn't interested. I was never his girlfriend, but he and Andrea convinced themselves I was, she told the court. That delusion was so strong, they tried to kill me. Their actions were disconnected from reality. They've shown their capacity for evil, I'd say.
Man, what a couple of characters.
Yeah. Prosecutor said Van Dyne and Whitaker met online while he was still seeing both women. Once Whitaker moved into the area, though, their murder plot began. The first case surfaced in early May when a doctor at the Wisconsin Poison Center reported a woman hospitalized with thallium in her system. Thallium, once used in rat poison, has been banned in the U.S. for decades. The doctor told authorities the only way a human could have ingested this amount is if they intentionally consumed it. The victim told detectives she struggled to think of anyone who'd want to poison her until she remembered Paul.
Well over a year ago, I went on just 2 dates with this man, and now my entire life has been turned upside down.
She shared text messages he'd sent that spring, months after no contact, calling her evil and blaming her for supposedly driving Whitaker to suicide. Whitaker, of course, was alive and well and very involved in the plan. Prosecutors say the couple contaminated water bottles and even the interiors of cars with various poisons they either bought or concocted themselves. In May, after a trip to the movies, the woman and her younger sister got sick. Her car reeked of rotten eggs. A dealership later found hydrogen sulfide in the vehicle, a highly toxic gas. The sheriff said without an antidote flown in overnight from across the country, she likely would have died.
How close was this to becoming deadly?
Our victim within Rock County got hospitalized. She currently still is in a wheelchair. They had to fly in an antidote out of California.
Then came the second target, another former date. In mid-May, someone broke into her car twice, both times in a Costco parking lot. Witnesses spotted a man getting into a minivan, later tracked back to Van Dyne. After one of those incidents, the woman drank bottled water from her car, which tested positive for cyanide and thallium. Investigators quickly realized both women were being targeted by the same man. They tracked Van Dyne to one of the victims' homes and found a trail camera pointed right at the house. Prosecutors said the couple used cyanide, thallium, and other toxins in multiple attempts to poison the women, even lacing a car's ventilation system with the deadly powder. Both have been charged with attempted murder.
That's some of the most evil, twisted nonsense I've heard in days, Cubby.
I know these women barely know the guy.
Can't trust a Paul.
Pauls are a problem for you?
All Pauls?
My uncle's name is Paul.
Let me ask you something,
I don't
John.
trust him.
Yeah, he's sketchy.
These people doing all the poisoning, do they smoke rock?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, there's something going on there. These women, they want me pretty bad. We better take them out if we want to have a relationship here.
Wow, man. And some of the complex procedures they went through in order to poison these people.
Yeah.
F me running.
The Chucky doll from the 1988 horror film Child's Play isn't scary enough to spark a lawsuit from a North Carolina woman claiming it gave her PTSD at work, at least according to the lawyer she's dragging to court. Former bank worker Deborah Jones sued Truist Bank, alleging her former manager put a Chucky doll in her office chair last year, despite knowing dolls give her the heebie-jeebies.
That former employee claims that manager, quote, was aware of her fear of dolls and how her fear of dolls negatively affected her disabilities after she shared that information during a team cookout.
She said the stunt wasn't just child's play. It led to a PTSD diagnosis, and the lawsuit says the manager laughed at her reaction.
The lawsuit says her manager, quote, placed a Chucky doll, the doll that kills people, in the plaintiff's office chair. She says that incident worsened her medical condition, and she was placed on medical leave.
Well, it kills people in the fictional movie.
Right.
Not in real life.
I'm surprised that news lady delivered it in that way.
Yeah, you know the doll that kills people? You know the one. But Truist's attorneys are sharpening their legal knives. They want the judge to toss out the suit, arguing the plastic menace is too vanilla and not extreme and outrageous enough to sue over, suggesting Jones is using the Chucky dial in an attempt to push through a meritless case, and they don't want to play.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Jones is seeking...
I always wanted to kick that little prick in the mouth.
Same here.
Jones is seeking compensatory damages, but the bank isn't going to roll over and open the vault. So far, the judge is still deciding if this case will take a stab at trial. Meanwhile, go ahead. Sorry.
Where do you go with that, Josh?
I mean, that's too bad. The lady's, afraid of dolls and whatnot. But I mean, she's claiming like she can't work, she can't sleep. I mean, the doll still exists. They put it in the chair, and I don't know if there's more to it than just that, but.
I don't think I've ever heard anything like that before. I have no idea where to go with that.
I mean, they might also not have understood how serious this was. I mean, Ashley's always told us she's afraid of clowns, and, we had a Halloween-themed event. A bunch of different characters came in, including a clown, and we found out just how scared of clowns you were. We felt awful. We had no idea.
It was her birthday, too.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Well, Halloween, So
Hi, I'm Chucky. Do you want to play? Yes, I do. You're a 3-pound doll. I want to play. I do.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
God, I hated that friggin' movie series. It was so stupid.
It's amazing how much life they've gotten out of it. It's been like 7 movies and now a hit TV show.
But is it really a hit TV show?
If they're still making episodes, people are watching it.
Bastards.
Meanwhile, at another bank, things were more heist than horror, but still plenty weird. Wednesday afternoon, 59-year-old Mark Gilbert strolled into a bank in Three Forks, Montana, and said, "I'm declaring this a bank robbery," but only asked for $1. Not exactly Ocean's 11 material. After pocketing the meager loot, he calmly placed the bill on the counter and politely asked the teller to call police, which they did. He waited on the front steps until they got there. Sounds like the dude just wanted to go to jail.
That sounds very much that way. I was lucky this weekend. I got lucky, Josh. I got to watch for about the 50th time the greatest bank robbery movie of all time. What do you think? What do you think is the greatest bank robbery movie of all time?
I'm guessing you're going to say Dog Day Afternoon.
God help us. I got to watch Dog Day Afternoon, and I love that friggin' movie.
A 34-year-old Florida woman landed behind bars after police found 6 syringes and a stash of fentanyl hiding in her hoo-ha. Deputies
That's taking a big chance, is it not?
Syringes, yeah.
And the fentanyl, right? Am I thinking of the right drug?
Yeah, that's trouble
absolutely.
too.
If that's just
that breaks open and gets inside you, that can't be good.
Deputies spotted a pickup with a mismatched license plate on it Sunday, June 15th. When they pulled the truck over, they discovered Jessica Reno driving with a suspended license. Her vehicle registration had long since expired. She explained the missing plate had blown off her truck, so she borrowed one from a friend. Well, cops told her that's not how this works. At first, she assured deputies she wasn't carrying any narcotics or weapons, but a more thorough search at the detention facility told a different story. She hatched a plot to stuff her vagina with fentanyl, a blunt stunt to hide drugs in her privates. An X-ray machine revealed a sock hidden in her genitalia.
Oh.
Inside that sock, they found 6 syringes and a plastic bag with 2 grams of fentanyl.
And some poor bastard's missing a sock.
Sheriff Rick,
that's frustrating, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
It happens all the time. Is that where they go? When you're like, I know I had a pair of socks.
God
only
dang.
one.
I never considered that.
Sheriff Rick Staley said between trying to pass off someone else's license plate as her own and not telling deputies about the fentanyl she had hidden within her, this woman did a lot to try and trick law enforcement, but she was unsuccessful.
That's gross. By the way, 2 people have texted in to say that Point Break is the greatest bank robbery movie of all time.
I've never seen the full movie.
And lucky you. And I just want to make sure they're banned from this Friday's boat party. Just give me a minute, Josh. I got to write down these people's names.
Let's get their names on a different kind of list.
Phone numbers so they don't join us on the...
Did you like Inside Man?
I don't remember anything about it.
Did you like Heat?
Loved it.
Oh, yeah. Heat's great.
That's where I thought you were going.
I love Heat, but my favorite is Dog Day. What about Quick Change with Bill Murray back in the day?
Oh, I never saw that.
Very clever.
There are plenty of strange places to pass out after a night of overindulging. but the hood of a patrol car happens to be one of the dumber ones. The California Highway Patrol said a man was arrested on suspicion of DUI after he crashed through a brick wall and ended up in someone's backyard, stopping just inches from a children's play structure. The driver wasn't hurt, but officers say he was so intoxicated, he decided to nap on the hood of their car. At that point, a field sobriety test wasn't exactly necessary, though it did make for a priceless photo on social media, which you can check out on 93x.com. I love that picture. Ashley, I'm assuming you looked at it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that guy was very tired. He was so tired.
I got to check this out. I've been tired before. You've been tired.
I've never been as tired as this guy. The position he's in is hilarious.
I can't imagine falling asleep. Nick, you've been saying that you've been trying to sleep. You've been having to sleep sitting up lately.
Yeah, it's been great.
This is a whole different ballgame.
When he comes to, he's gonna be so sore.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, gosh. He's going to be walking around like that.
Didn't you once fall asleep on a ladder?
No, not me.
Who the hell was that? How do I find this guy?
Go to 93x.gam.
Yeah, but then where do I go then?
You go to the top tab.
At that point, you're on your own.
You go to
it's a Wild West in there.
Half-Ass Morning Show highlights.
Half-Ass Morning Show highlights.
Yeah, if you go to Half-Ass Morning Show at the top, and then you go down to highlights.
I see it.
Boom.
Not a lot of material there. Some drunks sleep on park benches, but the bold pass out on cars. And thanks to his poor decision to drink and drive, his boozy blunder behind the wheel ended with him in jail. Now looking at pricey attorney fees, court costs, fines, and paying for the damage to the property and his car. The CHP took the opportunity to remind everyone DUIs are 100% preventable.
That's a very true statement right there.
By the way, you go to headlines, not highlights.
Yeah, I'm not finding.
I just wanted to fix that quick. I felt like we were going to get some text on it.
Did you see it yet?
No, I'm looking around.
It's pretty good.
Falling asleep on a patrol car?
Yeah.
That's the one.
I thought you fell asleep on a ladder while you were painting once, Josh.
No. If I did, I certainly don't remember that.
I wish I could sleep like that.
This guy.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that awesome?
Wouldn't that be great if you could sleep like that every night?
That's the only reason I wanted to do the story is because the picture's so good.
It's a great picture.
I love that picture. A driver's facing charges in Canada after police stopped a car ignoring the speed limit and an unsecured mattress balancing on the roof. At first, an officer pulled over the car for their reckless speed, going well below the speed limit. The slow driving was causing traffic to build, confusion and chaos we don't need, police posted on social media. Turns out the 22-year-old driver was holding the mattress with one hand while an unbuckled passenger in the back seat tried to steady it. The mattress wasn't secured at all. Gravity alone's not enough, police noted. Once stopped, the driver made an unusual request. They wanted to go another 6 miles and asked police for an escort, to which officers said no. Politely, of course, this was Canada. In the end, the driver was charged with having an insecure load, unnecessary slow driving, and careless driving. In this case, the driver was so focused on the load, they were driving carelessly and could have caused a serious crash, police said. Adding the cost of proper straps or a trailer's far less than the fines for an insecure load. A little planning and common sense, they said, go a long way.
Now, I think I got it this time. You're not the guy that fell asleep on a ladder. But you were the guy that lost a painting or something out the back of your pickup between here and Chicago or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
we tied down. We went to, it was the first time I'd ever been to an IKEA. And we tied down a big painting on the top of my mom's, Toyota Corolla.
Oh.
So we tied this thing down, and my girlfriend, they gave us like some twine, basically, and my girlfriend's like, oh, I don't know if that's good. And I did what you're supposed to do. I patted it twice and said, that's not going anywhere.
Sure.
And we got on the freeway, and I'd say within 30 seconds, it blew right off the top of the car.
Straight up into the sky.
Yeah, she gone.
I had the same experience with a lawn chair once, and I was pissed because heavy traffic going to Wisconsin, 94, faster than hell. And I look in my rearview mirror just as this lawn chair in the bed of my pickup just straight up into the sky.
Flying around like a kite.
And, I mean, I gripped the wheel thinking, oh, Christ, it's going to hit somebody's windshield and kill somebody. And the gal I was with at the time is laughing her ass off at this. I'm like, shut up! I was all tensed up until I was able to see the chair kind of roll into the ditch.
Yeah, oh my God.
That's what the painting did, too. I wonder if there's something to that.
I braced myself thinking, great, I've just killed somebody with a friggin' lawn chair, but I got real lucky.
I like to think the same local picked up both the painting and the chair, that it happened somewhere in the same vicinity of each other.
And they spent the afternoon sitting in that chair and looking at the painting.
Oh, that painting was shattered. We picked it up.
And smoking meth.
That was in bad shape.
Oh, you did pick it up?
Yeah, we stopped and picked it up. I mean, like you said, ours went into the ditch.
And did what with it at that point?
Tied it back.
You tied it back? You did?
It was too big to fit in the car. It was huge.
So it was terribly damaged, but you brought it home anyway?
I did, yeah. I wasn't just going to leave it there. I don't know.
Josh doesn't litter.
Oh, I would have
we just got a new frame when we got back.
I sure as hell didn't spin around for that lawn chair. I wanted no part of that friggin' thing.
I wouldn't have turned around either.
No longer your problem at that point.
No.
Ranked 7th in NFL history in rushing yards.
Okay, who is it? Don't tell me. 7th. Give me a team.
Second, well, I'll give it away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you give away the team?
Chargers.
Eric, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Exactly.
Dude.
He's 46 today. They just...
Best ever.
I went to a restaurant on, it was yesterday with my brother and sister-in-law, and they were showing some LaDainian Tomlinson games. It must have been why, because his birthday's today.
Oh, yeah.
It was weird.
At a bar, they were showing...
Yeah, I asked my brother, I'm like, why would they show something like this? And
like ESPN Classic or
I don't know what channel it was on, but yeah, it was just on the TV.
He had some good moves, didn't he, Cubby?
Yeah, turns out he was very talented.
Yeah, he could cut.
Second in rushing touchdowns, third in total touchdowns.
Yeah, he was a pimp, yeah. Seemed like a nice guy, too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And singer Glenn Danzig, who holds no NFL records, but has released 13 records and 2 EPs, he's 70 today.
Glenn Danzig. Every time I hear the name, I can't help but laugh a little bit.
I shiver a little bit. He intimidates me.
He didn't scare me.
Joe texted in a shout-out to his Uncle Gator, the best uncle ever, an all-around awesome dude who deserves a better nephew. I know, Joe, and you deserve better, Gator. That's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
He's existing in this, shadow world of depravity.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
They arrived here in 2008. And this city, this fan base, this community has embraced them from day one. Shot clock is off. They'll run it out. The Thunder have taken the NBA by storm. For the first time, the NBA champion resides in Oklahoma City. The storybook season is complete.
Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder are here. How you doing, fellers?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you handle the heat this weekend, or did you come close to busting a spring? Because the heat will aggravate some people to where then they have a meltdown.
I survived okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was up north, so it was pretty steamy.
Where'd you go?
I was up in the Brainerd area.
Oh, for God's sake. The Brainerd. Did you see Tom Cruise?
I see Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
no.
He frequents the Brainerd area.
Yeah. He does?
No, he doesn't,
Property.
but people like to say it out loud. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looked like you had a lot of fun. It looked like at one point I saw a picture of you and I think your granddaughter or whoever it was, and you guys were wearing sweatshirts. I was like, where is he at where it's a little chilly?
Wearing sweatshirts?
Yeah, not to be like super creepy, but you were eating ice cream and you were wearing sweatshirts.
Oh.
This is a social media thing? You were keeping up with Randy's cabin?
You were feeding giraffes. I saw that.
Yeah, we were at the Brainerd Zoo area there.
And you really had a hoodie on?
You know what? It may have been inside for ice cream. I don't know.
Because it was just oppressive wherever you go.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It could have been a sweater. Grandpas wear sweaters, I've noticed.
Yeah, they're always
That's how you know
chilly.
someone's a grandpa.
And grandmas wear shawls.
Yes, they
Maybe
do.
he was wearing an orange jumpsuit.
Oh, thank you, Brad. Appreciate that.
Well, I suppose.
That'd be one of Ashley's brothers.
You have no idea how correct that is right now, Josh.
Oh, no, not again.
You're right, Josh. I mean, I forgot that older people get chilly very easily. And you've reached a certain age now. I mean, one of my buddy's dads, God rest his soul, it did not matter, even if it was similar to this past weekend's weather. It did not matter. Everywhere the sumbitch went. Work boots on his feet, those deep blue farmer jeans, flannel shirt, flannel shirt. Did not matter the weather. That was his uniform, especially once he got a little older. So, yeah, I'm at that point now. I'm always cold, Randy Shea.
That's how my ex was, Nick, like that exact outfit. He never wore shorts, always liked wearing a flannel in the middle of the summer. It just blew my mind.
He was a crotch soup.
He was a young guy.
Yeah. I was like, how are you comfortable?
Did he ever bring up nut butter?
No. Dude, never sweated either. It was weird. I don't know.
What was he, a
Freaking
cyborg
nature.
or something?
I think so.
He never said word one about nut butter.
No.
And you say you're the opposite, where you sweat constantly.
Yes. I sweat like a 60-year-old, 300-pound man.
It was just a brutal weekend. It was brutal. God help us. And then the wrong ball club won the NBA title last night, which is too bad. It's too bad.
Why? Why is it too bad?
Because I didn't want them to win the NBA title. What do you mean, why is it too bad?
And now they're probably going to win 4 of the next 5.
You wanted Indiana to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who the hell didn't want Indiana to win?
Oh, I didn't want Indiana to win.
Why didn't you want Indiana to win? You got something against Indiana?
Because I think OKC deserves to win it the way that they've played all season long. I think, I hate to say this, but I think we're looking at a dynasty here.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, exactly why nobody wanted them to win, because we know there's just going to be more of them.
I don't think they've reached the status of being hated by the country yet, though.
No, they haven't. But I'm saying they're young enough, they're talented, they've got a lot of draft equity.
Yeah.
They are built to last for a long time.
That's why I said a couple weeks ago, hopefully there's some kind of infighting over money or someone gets addicted to drugs or something. And this, hopefully this becomes a disaster very quickly.
Because I've been fooled by this before. I remember in 2001, it's like, oh, the New England Patriots, what a cool story. Tom Brady, yay. And then they win nonstop. Oh, Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, well, they haven't won in a long time. Good for Patrick Mahomes. Oh, he looks like a nice guy. Then you get sick of it. Oh, Golden State, always in the shadow of the Lakers, this and that.
You're right.
So it's another one of those, I'm afraid.
It very much could be.
These feel-good stories have developed into nightmares before.
Yes.
When the Red Sox finally overtook the Yankees.
There you go.
I felt so good for the Boston Red Sox. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, I wanted to vomit every time I saw them on television. These terrible disasters have snuck up on us before. Let's hope this isn't a repeat of the teams that we just mentioned. Because I can't stand the pricks. I don't feel good for any of the Oklahoma City Thunder. What they've
Even
done
a local guy, Chet Holmgren.
What they've done is wrong. What they've done is wrong.
What they've done is wrong. Oh my God.
Chet Holmgren should never be allowed back to the state.
Timberwolves. That's the only reason. Because they beat the Timberwolves.
No, it's not the only reason. What am I, a 10-year-old, Brad? You don't think I can think any? You don't think I can come up with any other reasons to hate them other than that? Is that all the credit you give me, Brad?
Go ahead and answer that one, Brad.
I'm just a little homer who just they beat the Timberwolves.
Maybe.
Nick just sitting at home with his Timberwolves foam finger and tear coming down his eye.
I don't like them because they beat the Timberwolves. I'll remember that comment, Brad.
Okay.
Indiana was tough as usual, but they had to play without Tyrese Halliburton.
Yep, that didn't help.
Who had one of his legs come off. And
Did they show it?
Pardon me?
Well, they turned the ball over like 10 times in the third quarter, and Oklahoma City didn't. That was the ball game right there.
Yeah,
yes,
much.
We were going to get to that. That's twice now Brad has aggravated me on the program. See, all I said was Tyrese Halliburton, and Brad assumes that I'm just blaming that completely on the loss last night. No, Brad, we're going to get to yes, they turned the ball over way too many times. Indiana did. What was your question, Josh?
I jokingly asked if they showed it. That's the big complaint on social media. How many times do we have to go back to this?
Yeah, but you couldn't really tell that he hurt his Achilles in the injury itself. I think originally we were all looking at his leg in general. I don't think I was looking for his Achilles at that point because that's not what was bothering him during the season.
What are you laughing about, Ashley?
It's an inappropriate meme somebody sent about what Randy looks like when he's talking about OKC.
Oh, no.
I can only imagine.
Is he touching himself?
It's like this dude with like a kind of like a big water jug that you have at the office.
Sure, the water cooler.
And it's exploding everywhere.
Oh, shoot, my text locked up. I want to see that.
Randy Shaver, some of our listeners think you have a bit of an erection for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
No. I mean, I just think that they're a super talented basketball team that deserves to win the NBA title.
I mean, it was kind of a referee-assisted championship,
No,
was it not?
it was not a referee-assisted
I saw right up,
championship.
Josh, there was an asterisk next to their name already. It said referee-assisted championship. You saw it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you see like the refs in the box score and whatnot crediting them for certain advantages they had.
Oh, but Halliburton, we got to feel bad for that kid. I mean, and his damn dad was in the stands crying. It was just a terrible thing. And he looked locked in before he went down.
Oh, yeah, he hit 3 threes.
He might have made
the game. Yeah.
Might have made a big difference in the game. His right Achilles tendon gave way on him. It was a buzzkill.
And if that's the injury, and that's what it sounds like, I mean, he's going to be out for quite a while. So that's a terrible thing. I saw a social media post last night. 3 Achilles injuries in the NBA. All of the players wearing number 0. Tatum, Halliburton, and Damian Lillard. 3, yes, the 3 Achilles tendon injuries, all of them wearing number 0.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
There's no way I could.
Whoever else wears 0 is changing their number in the offseason.
Exactly.
I mean, I know he wore 00, but Robert Parrish is stepping. Oh, is he dead? I forgot. Is Robert Parrish dead? It's one of the most famous 00s in NBA. Tell me Robert Parrish isn't dead.
No,
well,
he's not
if
dead.
he is, then he's not worrying about his Achilles tendon. So.
There are just 2 players on the Thunder roster older than 27, so last night they became the second youngest champion in NBA history behind only the 1977 Portland Trailblazers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander made off with the finals MVP trophy. He had already unfairly won the regular season MVP, despite Nikola Jokic clearly being the best player in the world, but whatever.
Oh, my God.
Whatever. He's the first
Nick,
player. Yes, Brad Ryder?
Nick, do you want me to give you some hope?
In just a minute. In just a minute.
Go ahead.
FTA is the first player to win the league MVP award and a championship in the same season since Steph Curry sickened us all in the 2014 and 15 season. Some hope for what, Brad Ryder, exactly?
Well, I mean, I know you don't want them to be a dynasty, so I'm going to give you some hope.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about that word that you give me a hard time talking about again, money. So when a lot of these guys are on really what we call team-friendly contracts right now because they're so young.
Right.
At some point, some of these guys are probably going to want to get paid.
Oh, yeah.
When they're so that could be a time where the core gets broken up.
It will be. That is what will break them up. You're exactly right. These guys. And number 2, you really think these guys want to spend their whole career in Oklahoma? No. They're going to want to go to, just like many players, they're going to want to go to L.A., they're going to want to go to Miami, they're going to want to go to New York City. So, yeah, Brad, all of what you said is a real possibility. I agree with you.
But the NBA is set up to take care of players in the cities that they start in. Yeah. So that isn't necessarily what's going to happen.
No, but I like the chances.
But you're right.
It could.
There's the opportunity to do
I like the chances that money will become a problem. And
money will become an issue. There's no doubt it will be. But they're built in a way that they can draft younger players, and the cycle can continue. They can lose Jalen Williams, but pick up a young guy that they draft this year or next year or whatever, and maybe just continue on. So
it probably won't be an issue for a few years. So.
No, not at all.
And they seemingly have every draft pick.
Pretty much. I mean, they're like I said, they're built.
They're capable of reloading really quickly.
Tyrese Halliburton, by the way, a few days ago, he said he deleted Well, this was after Game 1 of the NBA Final. I thought this was cute. Tyrese Halliburton deleted all social media so he could pay attention to his work. Which, older people are saying, so what? Younger people are saying, he really did? He deleted all of his social media, right?
I'm like, all right, dude. Did he announce his departure before?
Oh, I love when they do that.
I don't know if he announced it. I don't know if he did or not, but that's always fun, too.
Oh, no, please stay.
Oh, I guess I'll just delete it, too, if you're leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I going to do now?
Josh and I knew a guy years ago that made a dramatic announcement on social media that he was leaving social media. This will be your last chance to send me a message because I am leaving social media. And then, oh, really? Well, Christ almighty, just shut the doors on the joint.
Triumphant return about a week later, though.
Yeah, a week later. Well, I suppose I could stick around for a little while longer.
For my fans.
For the people who need me, yes, I'll send you pictures of what I'm having for dinner. Yes, I'll refer
Throwback Thursday.
I'll refer to my children as brilliant when they do basic things that children do. I'll do all the social media things.
Oh, you want to see a picture of my fur baby? Here's my fur baby.
Yes. Tyrese Halliburton deleted all social media after Game 1, though he admitted that he occasionally would log on to catch up with WWE news.
Adorable.
I mean, how do you not love that friggin' kid? Eventually, he'd want to see what the hell happened at the last pay-per-view.
He wants to know what's going on the Cena retirement tour.
God, that kid's cool. Josh, I bet you a woo-off would cheer him up this morning. in case he's, let's play the classic woo-off where...
I can't.
Oh, you can't?
I'm sorry, our computer is dead.
Well, maybe
but
Dana.
luckily, only since last Wednesday, and we don't have an engineer.
Is your computer
so we'll be
dead,
fine.
Dana?
Mine isn't capable of playing things like that.
I could find the full version.
We're not exaggerating over here.
I'll just recite it then. I'll just recreate it. So Kurt Angle walks into the ring because he's back on Raw, baby, right? Mm-hmm. And Ric Flair is there, and so is Triple H. And Kurt Angle says, because Kurt Angle is back on Raw, baby, woo. And then Ric Flair says, wait a minute. Nobody says woo around here except me. And then they have a woo-off, and then Triple H says, all right, hang on a sec, that's gimmick infringement, and then you know it. And then we all laugh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was perfect. That was better than the actual original.
I could try this and just see if this works.
Well, don't hurt yourself or anything. Don't worry about it.
Nope.
You told me your computer had taken a dump days ago, and I forgot. I got excited. All right, so the Durantula thing is done.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Houston Rockets.
Thank goodness.
The Houston Rockets traded for Kevin Durant. They want to win one of those NBA titles themselves. In return, Phoenix is going to get Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and many, many, many draft picks.
I think the Rockets got the best end of that deal, personally. I mean, Jalen Green's a very good player, but he's not in the same category as Kevin Durant. Dylan Brooks is just a toss-in.
Yeah.
The number 10 pick, who knows what that's going to be like. And 5 seconds, they normally trade those away. So, I mean, I don't know, Brad. I think the Rockets got a great deal. They did not give up Sengun. They did not give up Amen Thompson. Can I give up Jalen Green for that? Sure.
Yeah, Phoenix was painted into a little bit of a corner about a week or 10 days ago or so. And Durant basically came out and named the teams that he wanted to go to. And whenever a player does that, the organization just kind of throws up their hands and goes, I mean, privately, they go, what. Like, now we have no leverage because he wants to go to one of these 3 teams, and so those 3 teams are the only ones calling. You can't make a call to, like, the Knicks, for example, because you know that he doesn't really want to go there. So I think that they got a pretty good deal out of it, but Phoenix kind of took the short end of that because they lost all their leverage in this.
Did he have like a no-trade clause, one of those things where he can say which 3 teams he wants to go to, or is he just straight up just saying, don't trade me somewhere?
He might have had some sort of clause, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was limited to those 3 teams until he came out and just told everybody which
Right, made it public.
to go to. Yeah.
So there you go. Kevin Durant, he's 37 years old come September.
I think that makes Houston a very viable. I mean, they were the number 2 seed anyway this last year, but that makes that trade really helps them quite a bit, and they don't lose that much in return.
Yeah,
so.
Look out for the Rockets. The Wolves tried like hell, but the dude didn't want to be here, and/or the Wolves and Suns couldn't agree on a trade. So there you go. It's over. It is a. You know what the wife and I did last night while the NBA Finals started off? Right after tip-off, we logged on to the.
Sorry, I read that wrong.
Yes.
I read the situation wrong.
Before the game, Josh. This was before. Well, this was at the beginning of the basketball game. We're not gonna do that during the damn game.
No, you guys are too much. You're basketball fans.
Yeah.
You can interrupt that.
We're NBA fans. We logged on to the Pat Bev podcast.
Oh, nice.
Pat did a live stream of his reaction to the game.
Oh my God!
It's like a Manning
the
cast.
whole game?
No, just for the beginning of the game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Oh, I love the man. I would have
The whole game? I could
probably
not
wouldn't have made it
do
through the
that.
whole game.
Yeah.
But we read about it during that. She said, "Hey, look, Pat Bev is going to do a live stream. I hope I'm using the right terms here because I know nothing about this stuff.
That sounds right.
Of his reaction to the game." And so I said, "Okay, we got to see at least a little bit of this because we love Patrick Beverley, and I wish he would come back here to play for the Timberwolves for 10 more years." So, but I don't know what I expected because I'd never experienced anything like this before. It was just a camera shot of Pat staring into his television.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Oh, again, Randy, I don't know anything about this stuff. But he didn't really elaborate too much. So as the game was going on, and this was when Halliburton fell down and hurt himself. So at the beginning, it was just Pat Bev going, "Oh, man, nice pass."
That's it.
"Oh, come on, man, that's a foul."
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I thought it was great, but then when Halliburton's leg popped, Pat just goes, "Oh no! Oh no! Oh hell no!" No, and I thought he would be a little more, but it was just straight up his natural reaction to everything. So you kind of had to watch the real game and Pat at the same time to know what he was.
That's some dynamite insight, Pat.
You were expecting a split screen like you saw in the Manning cast, where you could watch the game and watch him. Yeah,
the guy's brilliant.
Well,
he's brilliant.
At least the Manning cast, they give you some information. Or at least they try.
I loved it. I would watch Patrick Beverley make a sandwich. Okay, so
he is an entertaining guy for sure.
Oh man.
The Minnesota Lynx are now 12-1 on the season. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is.
Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is that?
What was that?
It's the Timberlinks.
Timberlinks. One of their star players, Nafisa Collier, has received the second most fan votes for the WNBA All-Star Game. She's a leading scorer in the league.
Yes. Super talented player.
I'm sure you guys could guess who the number one is. Number one.
Well, Angel Reese, of course, right?
Well, she should be.
Stop.
She's the best player in the league. Twins gave up a few runs.
Oh my gosh. That's quite a way to intro the Twins.
What a weekend.
35 runs in 3 games, which resulted in 3 losses to the border battle was more like a border BJ for the Milwaukee Brewers.
A border beating.
At least yesterday they put up a fight. They lost a 9-8 ball game. They came up with 18 hits yesterday. 4 by Brooks Lee, 4 by Carlos Correa, but there was none of that in Friday or Saturday night's game, and they just got absolutely curb stomped.
The Twins.
I'm not talking trash.
The Twins' ERA in June is the worst in the major leagues, and it's not even close. 6.46 is their ERA in June. They have been absolutely throttled, and Milwaukee just feasted on Twins pitching. Just clobbered.
They are almost as close to the White Sox now as they are the Tigers.
That is true.
Yeah, they're dropping it like it's hot. Byron Buxton now has 6 home runs in his past 6 games. But
he's playing great.
But the ball club is 1-5, 1-9 in their last 10. Yeah, Buxton's been killing it. But
they've lost 5 in a row, 13 of their last 16. I mean, if tanking was a thing in baseball, they would be doing a great job of it right now.
So, you know what you talked about last week before they had another bad week about going out and trading for, a pitcher. I
think it's too late now.
It's off the table at this point.
I feel like it's too late.
Yeah.
Sell. It's not. I mean, it's not. I mean, you're basically at the halfway point of the season. So it's not too technically, but it feels that way.
Yeah.
It feels like one pitcher isn't enough for this team to be able to get back on track.
The current group is going to have to turn it around in the next 2 to 3 weeks before you entertain that thought again.
Before the All-Star break for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And if they don't, then you're going to be in seller mode.
Well, how about a little hair of the dog that bit you? 4-game series starts right away tonight at Target Field against the Seattle Mariners.
And Seattle's starting to get healthy a little bit. Their pitching staff is starting to come back. That Cal Raleigh has hit 31 home runs.
No, he has not.
Yes, he has. For the Mariners. He's hit 31. That's a catcher, by the way, too.
What?
31 home runs for the Mariners this year. Yeah.
That's a hell of a run so far for that kid. A listener texted in, is Brooks Lee still on his hitting streak? No.
I think he went hitless
Saturday
for that series.
I believe it was Saturday.
But he's played great, though. I mean, really, honestly, Brooks Lee and Buxton, those two guys have played really well offensively.
Yeah.
It's just that they can't pitch. So
no, they're not pitching very well.
It's a big aspect of the game, Brad. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell is this?
Did you see who's pitching for the Mariners?
Is it Woo?
Yep.
Yes, Brian Woo.
Brian Woo. How does he spell that? I didn't mean to sound drunk right there because I'm not. But.
W-O-O.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, Brian Woo.
It's going to be a woo-off.
It will, I suppose, be only the second ever woo-off.
Get the guy at Target Field to play that audio.
Oh, he will.
Really, no kidding.
You know he will.
You'd have to.
I know. I think we've discussed Brian Woo before. Has Flair forced his way into the Mariners locker room yet to do a social media thing with
that would be funny.
And declare them his favorite team in the world? Like the guy's always on an airplane, so he can, because he's a limo riding, jet flying. What's the other part I'm missing?
Wheelin' dealin'?
Wheelin' dealin', son of a gun.
Wheelin' deal. Yeah.
But as we've noted before, Ric Flair will enter any team's locker room and declare them his favorite team.
Mm-hmm. If you pay him enough money, when we found out when we interviewed him.
If the price is right. And we know it's more than $5,000 because he said he was insulted with a $5,000 off.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. of the New York Yankees. Yesterday's game against Baltimore. Both of his cleats flew off of his feet as he was scoring from second base. Kind of funny to watch.
He was running so fast his cleats fell off.
Well, he said he was so sweaty. He said
probably didn't lace him up all too tight.
He said his socks were wet from all the sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one shoe. Yeah. Oh, you want to see gross feet? I'll show you. One of his shoes popped off between third and home. The other one cut loose on him right when he crossed the plate. So take a guess what the very predictable nickname is that he's been given. Again, his name is Jazz.
Shoeless Jazz?
Shoeless Jazz. Right.
Shoeless Jazz Chisholm.
Randy, were there any other marquee moments in sports history where a player's shoe come off? I can't think of anything.
Well, of course.
I can't think of anything.
Herschel.
Well, that's not the one I was thinking of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Herschel Walker?
Well, of course. Of course. But there's one you're forgetting that you enjoyed way more than when Herschel's shoe came off. Same ball club.
Why can't I think of it?
Same ball club. Alfred Anderson, his shoe come off.
Oh, sure. I love Anderson.
I forgot about Herschel in the moment. I did. I forgot.
Yes.
His
his first game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sock was swinging around in the wind as he was. Well,
Yeah.
no, there was no wind because they were playing inside, but yeah. One of my favorite all-time former Twins, really one of my favorite baseball characters in general, Ron Washington, is taking a break from managing the California Angels for an indefinite period of time due to a health concern.
Oh, no.
No, he's okay, Randy. He's going to the games, and he's sitting up in a suite just watching the game. So they really haven't detailed.
Wow, that's weird.
What's going on. He just hasn't been feeling well for a stretch of time.
Oh, no.
So over the weekend, a bench coach by the name of Ray Montgomery managed the Angels. Ron was up in a suite. He was even eating and acting normally. So I don't, just too much stress.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He's 73 now.
Wow.
But I was worried at first, of course, also when I read that headline. But then they showed video of him just kind of hanging out in a suite. And,
looked like he was having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, his Angels have actually played pretty decently considering everything. They're only 3 games under 500. They're only 7.5 behind the Astros. That's a winnable division if you can get hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I mean, yeah, like you just mentioned, the Angels last year, which was Ron's first year, I think, as skipper, they lost 99 games. But right now, they're right around 500.
Yeah, they're playing much better. They've got a decent core of young guys, and actually their pitching staff has been pretty good. So
I know we can't play audio right now. Well, now I know.
We're only a radio station.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yep.
We're great with video. So
Yes, we are. We can run videos all day.
And people think we're joking when we refer to this, when we always refer to it as our garbage radio studios.
And you might be thinking, well, call an engineer. Well, we don't have one. So if you know one, I wouldn't mind stopping by.
So, and this isn't something we could play anyway because it would take Josh an hour to edit out all the cuss words. But maybe you can find it on YouTube or something. Someone years ago cut loose with audio of Ron Washington giving the Texas Rangers a pep talk before, I think, Game 7 of the World Series where they lost to the Cardinals. It was like 10 years ago. Where that David Freese had just an incredible night at the plate for the Cardinals. Anyway, someone had audio of Ron's pep talk to the team, and there were so many F words.
Oh, I'm sure.
And used so perfectly. He's a very talented swearer, Ron Washington. Like some guys that we've known over the years that we've discussed.
For sure.
My brother is very, very talented with his curse words. Yes. He can make it bounce. It's like you're listening to a song.
Right.
When my brother... And Ron is cursing. He's trying to give this inspirational pep talk, and the players are laughing because it's just MF, 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 F, F, F. They can't help it. He's so eloquent that his players were just giggling.
I hope he had a lit cigarette just kind of dangling from his lip while he was going on that rant.
Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Dennis Santana was suspended 4 games over the weekend for trying to crack that Tigers fan across the yap that we told you about last week. He's appealing, so he can play for a while. That was a fun video from last week where he says a Tigers fan was hanging over the fence, and that Tigers fan, whatever he said, quote, crossed the line, so Santana thought he needed a punch in the mouth. And he tried. He missed. Oh, I don't know what else is going on. Oh, I got a few other things that are going on. I do. I don't know if you like funny videos up on our website. Clayton Kershaw was accidentally involved in the wave at Dodger Stadium. This is a real cute, kind of a one in a million thing.
I love this video.
Yeah, me too.
This will probably never happen again. The odds of this happening are so low. Dodgers playing the Nationals Friday night. This all happened by complete accident. Kershaw's on the bump for the Dodgers, and he's going into his windup. And if you know anything about Clayton Kershaw, part of his regular windup when he's not in the stretch is he raises his arms straight up in the air.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
At And, of course, you know how the camera is always center field from behind the pitcher so it can see the pitch travel towards you, as you guys know. And it just so happened that the crowd's doing the wave for some ungodly reason. I wish that would have been outlawed decades ago. But the crowd's doing the wave, and at the exact time the wave passes by home plate, Kershaw puts both of his arms in the air, and it looks like he was trying to be part of
The timing is perfect.
It is. Is that up on our website?
Yes.
Again, it'll probably never happen again. Accidentally. Of course, a pitcher could do it, or anyone could. Clayton Kershaw. He's no kid anymore.
No.
No.
All right, speaking of funny videos. Did you see the friggin' umpire at the College World Series?
Oh, wow.
Comical.
They're in round 39 of the College World Series now. Umpire just took a hilarious tumble while trying to control the skipper for Coastal Carolina, who was coming out to home plate to bitch about this and that.
Well, he got tossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The umpires all kind of jump in the way of this manager to argue with him, and just a ridiculous accident. This umpire, looking like he's drunk, he just fell flat on his ass. What the hell is this?
Down he goes.
That's that guy.
Yeah, it's him falling.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Check out the video.
How did he fall? Like, so.
He must have stepped on somebody's foot.
Yeah,
There was a group of people.
Well, there was another umpire who actually put his arm out, too. So I don't know. It's a combination of a couple of different
But I don't
things,
understand how he fell so dramatically that his legs went over his head. It wasn't like that big of a fall.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he added something to that for flair. I agree with you.
And he gets up, and you can tell. I don't know about you guys, but I think the look on his face says, so many people are watching. Oh, my gosh, so many people just saw that. Okay, act cool, act cool.
Yeah, he knows it's going to be on social media, that's for sure.
You get the manager and 2-3 umpires all kind of chest to chest. He must have stepped on somebody's foot, stepped on his shoelace. It was just same as, when you were a kid, when you used to get on all fours behind somebody and then you push your friend.
Tabletop him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love that move.
Down he went. Very funny. Unfortunate. The guy was embarrassed, I'm sure. All right. How about some hockey stuff now? The Pigs are trying to get it together here. Trying to get a live human being to agree to play hockey for them. Word is Vancouver Canucks wing Brock Boeser is close to signing a free agent deal with the Pigs. Okay. That's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a local guy, too, right?
Local guy. Folks get a boner for that kind of a thing. He's a consistent scorer. Not a done deal, just a rumor going around that Boeser is going to be a man-bear pick. But they still need centers. That's all we've been hearing this offseason. They need centers. All they got is Eriksson Ek. They need more centers, center. Marco Rossi and the Pigs are not seeing eye to eye right now. They could sign him to a new deal, but it seems like they're worlds apart. So that's the problem. Okay, great. We got Boeser, or at least rumor is, but still a massive void at the center position. The Pigs need one or two of those skilled journeyman centers like they had with Eric Stahl when he was here a few years ago.
Yep.
Like they had with Cliff Ronning when they made that run to the conference final. Who else? Rady Shaver. Reliable veteran centers of years gone by.
Well, how about when they made their first playoff run? Didn't they?
Well, that was Cliff Ronning was the guy there.
That was okay.
But they had Wes Walls at the time.
Yep.
Other guys that come to mind in years beyond that, John Madden. And not the football guy, John Madden, the Jim Dowd. Oh, you might have been thinking of Jim Dowd.
Jimmy Dowd.
Jim Dowd. That's what they're going for. Like a Doug Waite or a Michael Pekka.
There was another veteran player that was here for a year or two that was a really good scorer. I'm not sure he was a center though.
Oh.
Not sure he was a center, though.
Well, I don't know who you're thinking of. I don't know how long ago. Like a veteran presence.
I want to say back when they first started. because I was doing my show at the time, and I did a big, long interview with him at his house. And I can't think of the guy's name.
The first few years of the Pigs.
When they made that playoff run, and he was part of it. I can't think of the guy. He'll come to me, but I can't think of it.
And then with the North Stars, like Dennis Maruk was that veteran center.
Sure.
Neil Broughton played that role in the latter part of his career. Right. We could do that. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, by the way, Jonathan Toews plans to sign with the Winnipeg Jets. That was another guy that the Pigs, at least the papers were saying they were possibly, he's going to go play for the Jets. He hasn't played in a couple of years, but they think they can milk something out of him. Steven Stamkos is a name a listener just brought up. Okay.
For the Wild?
I have no idea.
Wow. That'd be interesting.
I recognize the name, Tampa Bay Lightning, sure, Steven Stamkos. Were you thinking of Danny Heatley, Randy Shaver?
Nope, I was not. That's not it.
Obviously, you weren't thinking about Mikko Koivu because he started here. It wasn't like
Mikko was.
We're talking about guys who were brought in.
Yep. I'm trying to look it up. But
Vanek wasn't a center, was he? Vanek?
I don't think so.
No.
I got a great text here. How about, before we go, how about a Karen update?
Sure, why not?
Who is this? Dread Chick Jesus sent me a picture from the New York Post from their website. And it's Karen Rogers walking on the beach alone. And the headline says, Karen Rogers enjoys a solo beach walk as mystery wife remains out of sight.
What in the world?
Okay.
What is going on with that?
I don't know. But the funny joke is then a viewer, or whatever the word is, of this website jumped in on the comments is how you say it, jumped in and made this comment. They said, we may have another Manti Te'o situation.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
There's people that believe that's what's going on.
Oh, that'd be the best case scenario.
Really? There are people thinking that he has an online relationship, and
yeah, or it's such a weird deal. I think we talked last week. His family says we have no idea what he's talking about.
Weird.
People are saying we've never met her. We don't know what's going on.
Well, for me and any of
with his family, though.
For me and
they
any
hate
of
each other.
the other listeners that have no idea what you're talking about, what is that story referring to?
What?
I don't know what that story is.
He said he was married.
No, the comparison.
Comparison.
Manti Te'o
Yeah,
story.
Manti Te'o.
Oh, that's way too much to get into.
Hey, Nick.
Yes,
Brian Ralston.
Brian Ralston. That was.
He's not a center. 2006, 2008. Brian Ralston.
He was a hell of a valuable guy on that roster for a while.
Yep. A couple years.
This is great now. I mean, whether they're centers or not. We were talking about like veteran, reliable centers, guys that are going to win you some faceoffs and whatnot and pile up some points. That's what the Pigs need. But now we're just getting hundreds of texts just naming old Wild players. and I love it. I love it. Dick Park.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Richard Park. Yep.
The game where Dick Park scored the game winner here at home against Colorado. One of the biggest crowd pops I ever heard in my life. In that playoff run in 2002, 3, whatever it was, when Dick scored that goal. Great crowd pop. Pascal Dupuis, Andrew Brunette. People knew you were talking about Brian Ralston. Martin, what's the soup of the day? Wait a minute, I'll get it. Martin Havlat, and we were able to give him the greatest nickname in hockey history. Martin, what's the soup du jour? It's the soup of the day. That sounds good, I'll have that.
So good.
Devin Setaguchi. I just like rolling through those old names. Oh! All right. That ought to do it for a friggin' Monday. What do you boys think?
That works out good for me.
We've been talking up our booze cruise on Friday. You guys, you're both invited.
Sorry, I will not be in town.
I didn't think so. You're both invited.
Both invited.
What's the weather like for
both invited? What's the date?
85 degrees, not as humid as it is.
It's going to be reasonable.
No rain?
We don't care. There's a lid on it.
It doesn't look like there's going to be rain.
Yeah, well, get back to us if anyone's plans changes. You're both... you're on the list. You just made the list, all right? Thanks, you bastards.
You bet.
All right.
We'll be back here in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
On 93X.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back.
I think the boundaries are getting a little unboundaried, but that's fine.
From relationships,
it's grabbing coffee with your friends. That is
right up my alley.
Right?
To business and beyond.
Where there's history, true friendships, but it's fine. I've also been a rat. I'm obsessed with her. I hate her. Literally the exact same feeling.
If you really want to party,
you have to have the perfect combination.
Give them Lala. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The Half-Assed Morning Show.
Minnesota's 93X.
F me running. I can't say enough about these great crowds. Thank you all so very damn much for hanging out with us here on the Monday edition of the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Day one of our summertime Ultimate F-Off week. Day one of Booze Cruise week. Josh, the Cuck King, will soon be upon his throne.
My outfit arrived in the mail today thanks to Killer Jesus.
Tell us about your outfit. Yeah, we talked about it earlier, but what do you got now?
So he got me a Cuck scepter. He got me a Cuck cape and a Cuck crown.
All very good-looking stuff. You're going to look great in this stuff.
Yeah, no expense spared, apparently. Thank you very much for this.
And wow. I can't believe you agreed to go shirtless underneath the cape. That's awesome, Josh.
You know, this has already gone too far. This is when all it was me laughing at a Cuck joke, and I became the Cuck King, and now I'm sitting in a chair for an hour, a Cuck throne. This has gone too far. Don't keep it going, Dana.
How do we introduce you? Is there a certain way, like when you watch Game of Thrones, is there a certain way?
Hear ye, hear ye.
Oh, that's it. Hear ye.
We need somebody with a trumpet, too.
Yes. Okay, anyone in our listening audience who knows how to play a trumpet, get a hold of us, 651-989-9393. We might need you on Friday so we can and then I'll be the hand of the cuck. Is that how you say it, Josh? Yeah. And I will introduce, hear ye, hear ye.
Mm-hmm. I do declare.
I declare, well, that maybe won't fit into the sentence. I introduce to you, that's the best I can come up with on the fly here, the Cuck King of the 2025 Booze Cruise, Cubby.
Where I sit in my cuck throne and just watch other people have fun on the boat.
Yes, that's what it is to be a cuck. And
I sit there silently and watch other people have fun.
I'm a little jealous.
When it's all said and done, you can pardon people, whatever kings do. I don't know. I don't watch that television program, but this is going to be a lot of laughs.
The throne we have for Josh, it's like a director's chair, that has a little spot for your feet. It's kind of higher up. It'd almost be funnier if it was like a Fisher-Price chair, from like a kid's set.
Dana, can I pull you aside just for a split second?
You're going to kick my ass, aren't you?
Didn't we have a conversation about just letting it be at this point? I don't want it to get any worse.
I'm just happy for once it isn't me, so I'm taking joy in this.
I'm not fat, I'm aerodynamic. Jesus said it's watch ye, not hear ye, hear ye. Because it's a cuck.
It's going to be absolutely special. Today is also meaningful for the program because it's the return of our gal Smashley, who was out all of last week. You're feeling much better.
Much better.
Good to hear.
Actually, I told this story on the air, but your fiance, when I was checking in on you via him, he sent me a picture, and, you're laid up there, had the big water bottle in the hospital, all the machines. But it gave me a positive boost because you're doing your trademark deuces in the photo. So I'm like,
yeah.
she must be feeling somewhat okay if she's still throwing those up.
Yeah, it is. Actually, that's funny because I was sitting there watching TV. There's nothing else to do on Thursday, and a little SpongeBob commercial came on. And it was something about, I don't know, they were talking about the word fun. And I started singing the SpongeBob song where it goes, F is for friends who do stuff together, U is for you and me. And my fiance looks over at me and he's like, there she is.
Yeah.
She's back.
Spark is back.
If you're singing SpongeBob songs, there's a little bit of life left in her after all.
Yep.
Didn't feel right without you, so we're glad you're back.
Me too.
Good idea here from John Deere Jesus. We don't need a friggin' trumpet. For the Cuck King, we're blowing into a kazoo. So all we need now, we got the Cuck throne, we got your wardrobe, we just need a kazoo, and we'll put on quite a show.
Fun Size Jesus said if she shows up, she's going to bring cuck cakes. I mean, so there'll be a little of something for everybody.
All right.
Just eating in front of Josh.
No, you can't have one. You watch, though. I'm going to destroy this right in front of you.
I just wish Friday was tomorrow, for God's sake. I'm so excited. As most of you know, I'm not a social media guy. I did try it for a while. It was fun. There were some foxy ladies. We had some laughs, but then my life was threatened, and I took a walk. Long story. I can tell you some other time. I'll tell you this much. My life was threatened because of wildly inaccurate information, which is one of the things I like to pick on when it comes to social media. A lot of the folks who hang out there, by God, they're convinced they know. But they couldn't be more wrong.
We've experienced that, certainly.
They couldn't. In some cases, we've seen that the truth is the exact opposite. But here's the deal. It says here, maybe social media isn't all that bad. What I have here is 30 different skills that people have learned on social media. First off, you folks tell me, have you learned a skill due to your social media activity?
YouTube. I guess that's not necessarily social media, but certainly a lot of stuff off YouTube where I've learned about ways to learn skills on social media, like, hey, check out this website or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point, Josh.
Not really skills, but I've learned, like, I guess what they call your favorite thing ever, Nick, life hacks.
Oh!
So just like little things like how to clean something better.
That would count.
That's exactly what they're talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Exactly what
I
they're
learn
talking
stuff like that all the time.
I've learned nothing, but it's been years since I went anywhere near social media. So tell me what you think. Here we go. 30 skills that people have learned from social media to show that maybe it's not all evil and soulless and wildly misinformed and judgmental. Instantly judgmental.
With very little information.
Right.
None.
Gaming skills have been learned on social media. How do I get past level 6 on Halo? And then you go, I don't know, that's just a guess.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely use that for sure.
Oh, I've done that. Again, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really game very often, but where you just get sick of something, like, okay, I'm going to watch somebody else do it.
I just want to get past this point. How do I do it?
I feel guilty sometimes when I look
too,
it up.
actually.
Yeah, why is that? I think someone's going to catch me and they're going to be like, you cheater.
But again, as a kid, I didn't feel guilty about using a strategy guide back when we didn't have YouTube. You had to,
Oh my gosh, I forgot those existed.
I know, right?
You and the other dorks used to pass a strategy guide.
Oh, yeah. That was big time.
Dude.
Like Game Informer magazine?
Yeah,
or
stuff like that, where they have like the maps and the cheat codes and stuff.
You just brought me back, Dana.
Which one of you guys has the strategy guide? Well, I let Wendell borrow it.
How do I get past the water temple?
Wendell, it's me, Dana. I need that strategy guide. Get on your bicycle. Get over here. I'm at the water level.
So true, though.
Wendell shows up. Yeah, I'm only letting you have it for 2 hours, man. I got to have that strategy guide back.
It's funny because of how accurate it is.
Well, now, I guess I can say that I understand this. Many, many, many years ago when I was playing Grand Theft Auto Part Who Knows, I looked up on social media how to get the all weapons thing, right?
Yeah.
The all weapons constant life, whatever the proper term is. Exercise routines, Josh. People have learned exercise routines on social media, and it's led them to a happier and healthier life.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of times. I don't know about the happier and healthier part, but
I follow some fitness influencers, not necessarily because I follow their workout routines, because they're pretty foxy.
You want to see them in their little spandex.
Sure.
Yeah. What was her name again on ESPN?
Oh.
Daisy
Flex.
Fuentes?
Yeah, Daisy Fuentes was a complete nuclear missile, but that's not who. She was a fitness gal on ESPN. And Brooke Burke.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
People have learned
She's all right.
All right.
cooking skills have been learned on social media.
Yeah, I've looked that up before.
Just how do I make this pasta sauce without
what temperature is that supposed
killing
to get
my
to?
entire family?
Those are really good for meal preps. There's a lot of really good meal prep ideas on social media.
Here's something that Dana needs: hairstyles. You can go on social media and learn a new hairstyle.
I actually do need that help badly.
Those make me mad, those videos.
I don't like the social media cooking ones just because all of my son needs all these like bougie sauces and stuff. He'll be like, hey, can you pick me up some truffle salt or like weird mayos and stuff like that I've never even heard of?
He's making aiolis and stuff.
He's into all that kind of stuff. And
suddenly he's Martha Stewart or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's not a fair comparison, but isn't she a cooking lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Dubai chocolates, all these things that get like
That's
hot
so hot right
on
now.
social media. All of a sudden, I'm like, have you priced those, by the way?
No, I've seen them like at the grocery store, but I haven't really looked into it.
It's outrageous.
Really? I don't get it. It just looks like moldy chocolate.
People have learned new makeup skills.
Oh, yeah.
Applying makeup. How do I make my eyelashes do this and that? Dance routines.
Oh, the TikTok dances.
Yeah, that's pretty much all.
I don't know any of them.
Yeah.
You never learned any of the new dance routines from, what's the one from 25 years ago, 20 years ago that I heard every Thursday night up at Pov's? I got the song right in the I'll get back to you. There was a certain dance they always did up at the bar there. Maybe you could learn how to do it on social media. I'm not sure. Drawing. Okay, baking, same as cooking. Learning a foreign language on social media. It'd be nice. It really would.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I wish I knew.
I enjoyed it when I was a kid. I did. It was one of the only classes I enjoyed in junior high. Mainly because I loved the teacher. He was such a laid-back cat. I did really enjoy learning how to speak Spanish. Would I commit myself to it today? No. Probably not, because no one's there to grade me. No, okay, people are texting in what dance it was back 20 years ago at frickin' yeah, here it is, Cupid Shuffle.
I love that dance.
Every Thursday night, all the drunk young people would gather on the dance floor and they'd play the Cupid.
Daddy Magic Jesus said, I saw a Dubai chocolate bar at the gas station for $20, and I just about throat punched the innocent guy behind the counter because I couldn't believe it.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. The link my son sent me on Amazon was like $45.
For one bar?
Yeah, one bar.
That's ridiculous.
And your son actually asked for one of these.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
What's wrong with a Snicker bar, bro?
Exactly.
I got two words for you. Pay woo day. If you're looking for a candy bar.
That's a good candy bar. Whatchamacallit. When's the last time you had one of those?
Not that long, actually.
Never.
That's good
I'm a
stuff.
junkie now. What else are people learning on social media so it's not all evil and soulless and wildly misinformed? Playing a musical instrument.
Oh, yeah. Anytime I want to learn how to play a song, I'll go on YouTube.
You look up how to play certain songs on the guitar.
Definitely.
I don't know what this means. Coding. What is coding? C-O-D-I-N-G.
Programming.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Painting. You guys like to paint?
I've looked up drawing stuff. That's a skill I wish I had. I'm so impressed. Ashley,
Really?
you're so good at it.
Thank you.
But why do you wish you were a better...
I don't know, just especially as a kid, like I had some friends that were
when you were a
super
kid.
good at it, and like we used to draw like warplanes. We were obsessed with warplanes, and I was okay at best, but I had some friends that basically you'd want to pay for it. They were so good.
But what would you do with it now? I can't imagine calling Josh's... Wait a minute, there are no home lines anymore, home phones. But let's say I call Josh's phone and his wife says, hello, is Josh there? Well, he is, but he's busy drawing.
Well, I mentioned before I had a buddy. I mean, this is before porn was so prolific and easy to get. A buddy who would draw custom porn pics for people, whatever your kink was.
I love that story.
He has every skill imaginable that he's used for evil, but he used to make money selling hand-drawn porn pictures.
What a side hustle.
A couple of our listeners have texted in on 651 is the number. This is how you punch it into your phone. 651-989-9393. They've learned how to do certain things with their motor vehicle by watching videos or something similar on social media. Terrific. Do-it-yourself projects. I've looked them up. I still don't have the balls to try them myself.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time watching the little short videos of somebody redoing a room. So I don't know, they put up shelves and all that, shelves or whatever. I'm like, one day,
and it's
that's
sped
gonna
up?
be me totally. No, it's not gonna be.
Oh, dude, this is why. I mean, a lot of this makes sense. Sure, you want to learn how to do something? Go ahead. Fire up a video on social media. Maybe you'll just end up with that particular skill. Here's my favorite, though, so far. Self-defense techniques, man. Pa, 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 pa. Next thing you know, 6'8" guys are...
Oh, my word.
It's just carcass all over the sidewalk after I'm done. Because I learned a self-defense. And they didn't even attack me. I just cut loose on them, for no reason. Which is probably wrong. I probably shouldn't learn self-defense techniques and then just attack strangers
No,
on
it's supposed to be just defensive.
But wouldn't you be impressed, though, if you and I were walking on the sidewalk and I just started karate?
The temptation would be great.
Dude, that'd be so sweet. I would love to see that.
We've been going back and forth on social media. Well, that sounds like we're on social media. How should I say that, Josh? We've been going back and forth on the subject of social media.
Things you can learn on social media.
Yeah, is it evil? Yeah, soulless? Yes, wildly misinformed. Is it one of the biggest mistakes that mankind has ever made? Absolutely. But are there some things that we can still use it for? Some good things we can still use it for? Sure.
There's plenty of good.
A lot of folks have learned skills. What are your top 3 skills, Josh?
Top 3 skills?
I'm going to say playing the guitar, being entertaining, informative, and hilarious on the radio, and, God, what would be your third skill? Obviously, you're an unbelievable athlete.
It's true. It's
Clearly.
I mean, if I'm very good at not being able to throw a spiral.
Oh, yeah, I've seen you throw a football.
Like a lot of guys, if they are not very good at throwing, maybe 1 out of 10, they'll get a spiral. 0 out of 10 for me.
I want to play catch with you.
I can catch, I just can't throw.
When he throws, it's painful to watch.
For example, when my son plays football, and a lot of times, the moms or dads will warm their son up beforehand, playing a little catch. I like try and kind of hide behind a tree so nobody can see how bad my throws are. I can't figure. I think I have tiny. It's because I have tiny hands.
You do have very smallish.
A small football, I'm okay, but a regular-sized football, it's miserable.
I remember back in the day, I was trying to show you, and just to get an idea, when Josh throws a football, he kind of delivers it like someone throws a shot put.
Yeah, I can picture that.
Oh.
You're just unable to really. Anyway.
And then you can probably recreate that sound I make anytime I throw it.
When I throw him a football, this is the sound you make, that Josh makes when you throw it directly at him. He claps his hands and it hits him in the chest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not true. I can
trying
catch, but
to-
when I throw, I kind of go.
Oh, when you throw it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah.
you said when you catch it. Yeah, when he throws it, he says, So these are the skills that you can still learn on social media, if and you haven't already. Where do we leave off of? Because we've had a long list here. Gaming, exercise, cooking, hairstyles, makeup, dance routines, drawing, baking, learning a foreign language, playing a musical instrument, coding, painting, do-it-yourself projects, self-defense techniques is where we left off. Budgeting and finance tips.
Oh, definitely.
Learn how to handle your monies. I don't know what CV writing is.
Resume writing.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Well, we'll all get there
Good
eventually.
thing you knew that. I had no idea.
First aid. Recycling properly. Recycling. I don't play that game. What a scam.
It's for the birds.
Cleaning tips. Someone mentioned that already. Cleaning tips.
Yep.
Performing CPR on somebody.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's where I learned.
I've watched videos to learn how to do that.
We probably all should know how to do that.
That's where we all learned how to do the dog Heimlich maneuver.
Dog Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah, there was a couple months ago. I found how to give a dog Heimlich, the Heimlich maneuver.
I don't recall that. Well,
Yeah.
that's also maybe something we all should know. Meditation.
That's hard.
Oh.
It's really hard to master that.
I agree. I tried it once via recommendation from our boss, and I gave it a shot. I couldn't figure it out. People have said, "Oh, it's a skill you got to practice and practice." I gave up, but that was very difficult.
Because you have to like completely clear your mind, and that's impossible for me.
People have learned meditation from watching videos on social media. The last handful of skills here that we can maybe go back and forth on. Breathing techniques, like say when you're having a baby, maybe?
Or if you're stressed out.
I have seen a lot of those videos.
Just stress, deep breaths, and okay, all right.
I guess, yeah, that's talking about babies. I've learned a lot about what to expect and what to bring with to the hospital, all those kind of things from social media.
One of my favorite jokes ever, Stephen Wright, 35, 40 years ago, he told this joke on Late Night with David Letterman, if I'm not mistaken. Stephen Wright said, I've been taking Lamaze classes. Nobody's having a baby, I'm just having trouble breathing. Sign language.
Yeah.
That'd be a very cool skill to have. I know, Josh, your wife knows how to sign.
So cool.
When I took sign language in college, YouTube came very much in handy.
Oh, you took it? You took it in college, didn't
Yeah.
you? Can you have a my wife's fluent.
I've lost a lot of it, but I could still definitely handle the basics.
Yeah, it's super cute, Josh. Whenever your wife and my fiance are in the same room and they start talking about sign language, they'll start to like do it back and forth to each other. I
he
love
knows
watching
sign
it.
language?
Yeah, well, he's not as fluent as your wife is, but he took a couple of years of it.
It's definitely cool. Like you go to a store and there's a deaf person and you can tell how much they appreciate it. She's able to communicate.
That's awesome.
The last three skills that people have learned on social media are pretty interesting for the final three. What to do if you fall through ice. I can tell you what I did when I fell through ice. I friggin' panicked.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And what did they tell you not to do?
They told me not to panic, and I went straight to that.
That's so crazy.
But I didn't panic as bad as Big Al did. Big Al, I thought, oh, God. Anyway, what's crazy?
They described like one of the most terrifying things that can happen to a person. Now, don't panic. How? You have to meditate for that, Ashley. You got to learn how to.
We were in my pickup, and we went through the ice, and we both panicked.
Oh, it's so scary.
You can learn how to crochet.
I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. That looks
That
fun.
got big during the pandemic.
Go to my friggin' sister's house. That's all she and her kid do. They sit around and they just make socks and sweaters. It's just a wall of yarn when you walk into the...
Josh, didn't your daughter just learn how to crochet?
Well, isn't that what she did with that little skeleton thing she made you? Is that crocheting?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I
She
want to
got
learn how
into
to do that.
That and like cross stitch and stuff.
Escaping quicksand.
What's that joke? How's that go? The social media thing?
Yeah, something like I was led to believe that quicksand would be more prevalent and dangerous in my life than it ended up being.
Yeah, never once had to worry about it in real life.
No,
Although as a kid, I sure was terrified.
Bermuda Triangle? Terrified of the Bermuda Triangle.
People have gone on social media and learned how to escape quicksand. I'll be damned. A few text messages came in on the subject. One of our listeners learned dog training methods watching social media. I could use some of that. I'll give you an idea what I deal with at the house. When I call my dog, I say, Gertrude, come here. She looks at me as if she's saying to herself, well, who the hell does this guy think? You know what I mean?
This is my house, bitch.
You say my name, I'm supposed to come.
She knows who the alpha is.
She says, think again, pal. What else did our listeners... Oh, one of our listeners learned how to tattoo, folks.
Oh.
Whoa.
Watching social media and YouTube. And then finally, a listener says, has anybody mentioned the jack-off instructions yet? No, nobody mentioned that.
Oh, yeah, the JOI video.
Yeah, JOI. Everyone's seen those videos, right? The gal's like, okay, here's how you do it.
There was somebody that suggested they learned how to help a pretty lady who's stuck in a dryer. How does that happen? How do they get stuck in a dryer? I can't figure it out.
Over and over.
It's ridiculous.
It is a little silly, but it happens.
Yeah, it seems to happen. Or
It happens.
A friend of mine was saying sometimes, like, oh, it's not just dryer. Sometimes it's underneath a coffee table.
Underneath the bed.
Underneath
a
the
bed,
car.
too?
Yep.
The car.
Yep, I've seen that.
Do they explain how they get in these situations ever?
Well, she was
I don't
trained
know.
very
I
loosely.
usually zoom ahead. I don't want to hear the talking.
She was.
She's not here for the plot, Josh.
Nah.
I don't need to. All right. Ultimate F-off week, day one is complete. I mean, of course, unless Josh has something or another.
No,
he'd
that was
like.
all Dana.
Ultimate F-off day one is complete.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.